General accuses the CVS pharmacy chain of breaking the law.
AG Liz Merles issued a cease and desist order alleging CVS engaged in unfair, deceptive practices using customer personal information to send unsolicited and unwanted political text messages. It came as lawmakers debated banning CVS from acting as both a pharmacy and a pharmacy benefits manager in Louisiana.
I have long had concerns about the way these PBMs handle their business.
The bill failed. CVS says their actions were consistent with law. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Arkansas has moved to force companies to decide to be either a pharmacy chain or a pharmacy benefits manager. The Dow from Stifel's down 614 points to 42,353.
A slow-moving low-pressure system in play over the next 24 to 36 hours. Scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms going through the afternoon. It's quite humid. At least it's coming back. 84 for the high. Scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms tonight. Very humid, 68. Saturday, warm and humid with scattered showers. Maybe a non-severe thunderstorm, 85 degrees. Things quiet down a little bit on Sunday. Partly sunny, though very humid. Nothing more than a spot thunderstorm on Sunday. 87 degrees. I think we're 90 plus getting into next week. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got drizzle in parts of the region, clouds elsewhere, 74 in St. Peter's and Florissant and downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday. That feels like next Wednesday.
Yeah, what's going on?
I mean, this week was weird just in general. And then I think us having that day off on Wednesday, which, again, pardon me for bitching about a day off, but it like yesterday felt like Saturday. I had to work. And then today is Saturday at Odyssey because evidently everyone but us gets Fridays off.
Yeah, that is a crazy thing that happens.
It's a crazy thing. Like I get to park right in front.
I have the premier spot today.
Ooh, which one is that?
The closest one to the door that's not a handicap spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's always a nice Friday bonus.
You're back in?
Back in.
There you go.
Quick getaway at the end of the day.
You know why it's good that no one's here today, Wheels?
Why?
Because I ripped my pants.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
Yeah, he ripped them good.
Ripped them, but good.
What'd you do?
It's age. It's not an event.
I get you.
It's the age
Just
of
wear
the
and tear.
jeans.
Wear
Yes,
and tear. Okay.
Yes.
I'm like, you must have been doing the splits or something.
Yeah. So I only have 3 pairs of jeans. And I just got a new pair of jeans that are crazy tight. I'm talking like fly girl crazy.
You got skinny jeans?
They're not supposed to be, but yes. And then I have another pair of jeans that I can't locate. Rach and I were just talking about how weird it is when you lose large pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
But I have.
Yeah.
It is weird. I bought a black T-shirt to go with my 75 other black T-shirts about 2 months ago. And I've wanted to wear it for the past 2 weeks. I cannot find it anywhere. Where do it go?
Is Lucy selling things on eBay?
I mean, perhaps. I need to take away her internet access because who knows what kind of chat rooms she's
got
logging
a whole bunch
onto.
of new treats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that sometimes because I'm not I don't care much about laundry. So like it's either in the bottom of a basket of clean clothes or like I have a closet with shelves and like spare stuff gets thrown in there when I'm in a hurry instead of like hanging it or putting it somewhere.
For most guys, it's not just clean or dirty. There are various levels.
Oh, there are levels. Yeah.
To laundry.
There's
Can this be saved by a shot of cologne?
Right. There's the clean basket
and a little time in the dryer.
That's the stuff that just at some point came out of the laundry and I have not worn it yet.
Yeah.
And then there's like the stack that's on my bed that has been worn but lightly and it's fine. Maybe for around the house, maybe for out of the house. Just depends on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the dirty pile on the floor in the corner.
I started using a laundry service, and it's the best decision I've made.
Really?
Yeah. It's $30 a week, and I just put it in the bag, and then the next day it comes back all folded. It's nice.
Look
That's
at
quite
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But they may have kept one of my pairs of jeans.
Oh, well, because they could literally be lost in the wash.
Yeah, could be.
Man, one of my dreams, one of my goals in life is to live in a home where the laundry is on the first floor.
That's pretty great.
Because like I am lucky, I don't have to go to the laundromat or anything, but my laundry has always been in the basement in every apartment I've lived in. And sometimes it's just a real bummer, especially when you live on the second floor and you're like going up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And, well, am I going to see my neighbor when
And
I'm
also,
down
you got to
there?
compete, right? Like,
No, I have my own washer and
Oh.
dryer.
that's cool.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, I own it. I moved it into this apartment, but it's still a shared basement. So it's
Okay.
like, it's fine. It's just you would rather it be in the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to go today, but I loved going to the laundromat as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, I'd go with my sister, and there's just so many things to play with. And they had like little boxes of Biz detergent and Snickers bars and things. It was pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever been to a laundromat.
Lucky.
I mean,
remember.
it sucks. Like for
Yeah?
anyone who's not a kid, it's pretty bad.
Oh, even when I had to go as a kid, I was like, this is not fun.
Yeah, I was a different kind of kid.
You're all about the biz.
Mm-hmm.
TJ on the stream says, "What's up, DG freaking
DG
S?"
freaking S.
That should be the new
TJ.
T-shirt. That should be the new T-shirt.
This
Dave.
should be the next live show that we do.
Yeah.
DG freaking S. Which, by the way, we're putting together now. We are putting together our 25th anniversary DGS Live. Not sure where it's going to be. I think it's going to be on the St. Louis side. Last one was at Wildy. And I think we're going to do music. And I think we're going to have maybe some of our stand-up friends join us. And should be a good time. Should be a lot of fun.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Can we do it 2 nights?
That'd be fun. People keep asking me to do that. People don't understand who I am and who I am not. And when we did the Wildy, the show was at 7.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
It was a lot of fun.
But I got exactly one of those in me.
Yeah,
They wanted me to do a matinee at 2.
Oh, the next day?
No, the same day.
Oh, we like do 2 in a row.
They wanted to do 2 in
that,
one night.
That feels harder than 2 in 2 days.
And it's not even an energy thing. I just can't do the same bits.
I get you.
You know, that I know that's what stand-up people do. They
Every time out.
Yep. They ride a show. They get 30 minutes. They do it for 3 years. I don't know. It's always been tough.
Oh, and by the way, do a 4-hour radio show
Yes.
that day as well.
Yes. What do you guys think of this story with the senator who went to yell at Secretary Noem and kind of took an ass beating? Here's the thing that bothers me the most, because it seems to me that I didn't know who the guy was. It's not like Ted Cruz, where I would know him on sight. And he came in and started yelling at Kristi Noem, who has Secret Service protection, and was kind of playing ugly with her. And they took him down and took him out. And then he said he was a U.S. senator, and they let him go. And their statement was, had we had any idea he was a United States senator, none of this would have happened. I think that bothers me more than anything. Like it had been a normie, just an American citizen who wanted to speak to their leaders, then, yeah, we would have given him an ass kick. But if you're a U.S. senator, you are not going to do that. I mean, I'm not Pollyanna. I get why it's different, but that seems to be the trend in United States politics that I dislike the most. Wheels, you talk about this all the time, is the gap between them and us is becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And the difference, I would agree if the people in place would not have known who he was. Like I wouldn't just recognize that guy on site, but I would think that Kristi Noem would.
Yeah.
I would think that security service, but to your point, I do want all of them, either party, to be treated more like we are.
Yeah.
That if they do something that would get us in trouble, then they should face the same trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got no issue with that. And, but again, at the same time, they should recognize a U.S. senator. And understand that. See, because here's the difference from a security standpoint. If you know that's a U.S. senator, you know he's not a threat. If that's Joe Rando, you don't know if that person's a threat or not.
Right.
So that can be the difference in their recognition of how to handle it. And it should be, because I would expect people in their position to know who a U.S. senator is. But it doesn't really make me all that sad, to be honest with you. I would love to see more people in positions of power get put back into the position where you're not special.
This is what it's like.
You're not special. This is what would happen to me if I did that.
Yeah, but back to Dave's point, I'm very fixated on so senators get more speech than we do,
right?
Is what you're saying,
right?
Like they're allowed more speech.
They're
they
given
have more
leeway.
rights than the average citizen.
Yes.
They're
and
better
they should
than
not.
us.
Yeah, they should not be. None of them, and that includes the president of the United States, regardless of who it is and what party it is and when it is. They should all. We should all look at all of them like public servants and not like our quote unquote leaders. They only have the mandates that we allow them to have. So when they have this kind of sway, this kind of power, it's because we allow it.
So
we accept it.
Well, why wasn't he allowed to ask a question?
I think because he was being sort of aggressive, and he may not have been aggressive the first time he asked it, but when he didn't get an answer, he became sort of physically like, I'm walking toward you and I'm asking. And I think that's just how they responded.
Was he? I saw the video. I did not see the lead up to the video. Was it in an open question and answer portion of this?
Yeah, it was like a news conference. There were lots of people there.
So was he interrupting? Like, was he?
I think so.
Like, again, not interrupting in a way that it was his turn to ask a question. It got ignored and he wanted to follow up. But interrupting in that it wasn't time for questions yet. Yeah, I don't know.
Not exactly sure.
Okay.
Don't know.
I mean, even if it wasn't time for questions, I kind of have a huge problem with placing someone in handcuffs for speaking. That's really troubling. And if we do that every time someone speaks when you don't want them to speak, there's going to be a lot of people in handcuffs across this country, which kind of seems like the point these days.
I've always just laughed, and this is before I knew senators and Congress people and secretaries. This is before I was, had any connections like that. When people would say, call your congressman, go waste your time doing something else. Like, you're never going to speak to a congressperson, which is ridiculous. I know it's not the 1930s anymore when the White House was open and you could just go knock on the door and take a tour of the White House. I know it's not that, but there's no way you're going to go to your senator's office or your representative's office and have a meeting with them.
No, that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
I'm trying to get a hold of someone in local government, someone who works across the street from me. I'm trying to get someone to return my call. Do we really think that's going to happen? And by the way, I'm leading with the fact that I'm with KMOX and they don't get, not saying I deserve but you would think they would be like, oh, we should call the press back and at least tell them no instead of just ignoring them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's no accountability anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. People online are saying that he identified himself in the first couple of seconds. So,
yeah. And again, I would still expect somebody who is in the position that Kristi Noem is to know who the senators are. Maybe not all the people in Congress. That's a lot of people. But you should know who the 100 senators are. You should recognize, maybe not, hey, that's Alex Padilla from, you should be able to go, I know that guy. That guy's a senator. Yeah. If you're going to be in that kind of a position, I would think that would be beneficial to your career to be able to do that.
Yep.
And I would also hope that, everybody around you should have that same info, right? I mean, you all work on the same team, right? Secret Service, they're all working together as one unit. I would hope that there would be some recognition of who somebody is. At the same time, like this case to me is really interesting because I think there's two things true at once. I think the treatment of this guy was over the top, and they should have been able to go, yep, that's a senator. He's not a threat. At the same time, this is a senator who has all kinds of means of putting out a message and asking questions and calling hearings and doing everything. Is your only way to be heard to interrupt this event? Again, not like you and me. We can't call a hearing. We can't send out a request to talk to someone, to meet with someone of Kristi Noem's position in the government. Senators can. So I'm a little torn because I don't think he should have been treated that way, and I don't think a regular person who wants to be heard should be treated that way. But at the same time, there are other paths to do this. I mean, he can get in front of any camera he wants, anytime he wants to push forward on an issue.
Yeah, I guess that it just doesn't matter to me. He shouldn't be in handcuffs for what he did.
Yeah.
He wasn't brandishing a weapon. He wasn't charging Kristi Noem. He was talking. And then they dragged him into a hallway, forced him to his knees, and handcuffed him. And then went, "Oh, we messed up here. This guy's a senator."
Yeah.
Like, that is deeply, deeply troubling. Kind of no matter the circumstances.
I do think it underlines another big thing that has been happening for a while, like years. But this tendency, actually, it's not tendency, it's intentional. This intentional ignoring of legitimate questions and just and not answering them.
Well,
if you're in a
said
position,
this many times,
you have to answer the question.
That you should, like, if you were in that position, and I believe this because I know you, that you would answer any question anytime.
Yes.
Just shoot.
Yeah, because if I can't handle it, then I don't belong there.
I think,
and if I'm there, I believe I can handle it.
As not a fan of Trump as I am, I think the worst thing he's done are his appointments. I think they're a total joke. I think the FBI is in shambles. And even MAGA is pushing back against Patel and Bonjingo. Did you see the Bonjingo video he did about how sad he is to not see his wife?
Is.
Sometimes he doesn't get home till 7 p.m.
Oh.
Sometimes he's at work by 7 a.m. You know what that's called? A job.
It's called a job. And if you want to be an important person, you have to do important person job things.
Yes.
Hey, it's Matt, your Leaf Filter Trusted Pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
So I'm not the biggest fan of getting my blood drawn, but if you don't mind it, it's all you have to do to find out where you stand with testosterone for Dr. Kathy Maupin. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're 38 or 68, you just contact them through biobalancehealth.com. They'll set you up to get your blood taken. It'll take maybe a week to 10 days. And then Dr. Maupin will get your results. She'll read them personally, meet with you, and let you know where you stand. For me, because testosterone in general is supposed to be somewhere around 500. And mine was in the 600 or 700s. And I was kind of shocked because I wasn't feeling that great, but also kind of weirdly proud, like, oh, I'm a testosterone donor. But my free testosterone, which is what you actually use in your body, the way your body uses it, was low. And so 6 years ago, I started doing the pellets. Everything gets better. It's just twice a year for men. I think 3 times a year for women. Right next door to BioBalance Health is BioBalance Skin, where people get things like Botox and chemical peels and micro needling and such, whether it's to make your face look as good as possible, as long as possible, or if you have an event coming up, a wedding or a family reunion or a high school reunion or something, we have ways to make you look gangbusters. That's biobalancehealth.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
Their emotional needs, they are financial needs, they are physical needs, spiritual needs. So really, we have to look to address all of these different areas because they can be quite impactful for patients throughout their journey.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
It is 1:22. Michael Calhoun in the KMOX newsroom. Iran has fired missiles toward Israel. CBS News 24/7 is with BBC coverage. Let's listen in for the very latest on this breaking news.
Smoke rising. It feels like a significant moment that Iran's barrage strikes have got through the dome, the defense dome that Israel is so proud of. Help us to understand the type of military arsenal that Iran has. Israeli military officials have said that dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles had been en route to Israel. What arsenal capabilities do they have?
Well, they have ballistic missiles that can inflict damage, and we have like the long-range one, the short-range ones. Obviously, the long-range ones are the ones that have been used in these attacks. There are those that can be used in other type of attacks, namely.
Again, this is BBC coverage with a live view of Tel Aviv, and there is a lot of smoke. There had been visible the Iron Dome missiles soaring skyward from the city and the intercepts in the air, but there is a lot of smoke over Tel Aviv. Here is CBS News.
Plume wafting off in the distance behind the cityscape, reportedly from Iranian missiles. So I want to bring in CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Keeley. She is back here in Studio 57. Courtney, get us up to speed. What's going on? And also, what are the people in Israel going through right now?
Well, where they're going is to shelters. They've been ordered to go into shelters. Their air sirens are ringing across the country right now. We're hearing from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces are confirming that Iran has shot ballistic missiles into Israel. Now, the question is there defensive systems? Is there Patriot a battery pack missile defense system and others in place? Yes, they would be. Will they be shooting out of the sky? Yes, they will be. Will they be doing it with the help of other countries nearby covertly? Yes, we've seen that in play in the past under the Biden administration. So Israel knows what to do, especially in a situation like this, to seek shelter and seek it quickly. It's Shabbat. It's Friday night there, and it's dark. So people will be hustling into their shelters, sheltering in place. But these ballistic missiles, as we talk, are firing and launched and being shot down. The question is, will some get through? That is the biggest worry.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shabbat, obviously.
Again, this is CBS News 24/7 live coverage. Missiles shot from Iran toward Israel, ballistic missiles. The Iron Dome has been activated, and there is a plume of smoke that is both hanging over Tel Aviv, but then also rising from certain parts of the skyline. We're going to continue to monitor this, bring you any immediate breaking developments, and of course, the news as we get it here on KMOX. For now, back to Studio B.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings. The perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS. Any thoughts on Iran? Here's my only thought. I'm not the one who has to fight. And I'm not the one who has the Iron Dome protecting them from missiles. So it's easy for me to say. But Iran has always struck me as a paper tiger. Sort of like a guy in a bar who's talking about how he's going to kick your ass. The more he talks, the less likely it is he's going to throw a punch. Iran always seems to be, we're going to F you up and we're going to this and we're going to that. And then they do something just sort of like, okay. Like, I just don't think that they can hang in a war against Israel. I certainly don't think they can hang in a war against us if that's what it came to. I don't know that they have the juice that anyone's going to really be on their side. So, I don't know. That's my only 2 cents.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Nicholas.
The great thing about Newt Bar, he's a very influential player, but that works both ways. He can propel your lineup or he can bring your lineup down. And we've seen both of that this season. But that's kind of baseball too, unless you have this super lineup, you're going to have fluctuations.
Bernie Nicholas. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hey, St. Louis. MERS Goodwill is proud to sponsor the St. Louis City Match on June 14th, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. This is more than just a match. It's a day of giving back. Bring your new or gently used clothing and household items to donate at designated drop-off zones outside Energizer Park between 12:30 and 3 p.m. Join us for the City and Goodwill Donation Drive on June 14th. Give hope, give local, give goodwill.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Unsettled skies as we go through our Friday afternoon. The humidity is coming up with scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, 84. Tonight, scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms, non-severe, very humid, 68. Saturday, same story. Warm, humid, a couple of scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms, 85 degrees. Let's call it partly cloudy Saturday night. 69 Sunday, partly sunny, very humid, but nothing more than a spot thunderstorm on Sunday, 87. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy. Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Guys, I've been telling you a lot about Supplement Superstores lately, and I mean, I've been a customer for 13, 14 years. They have the best employees that can help you maximize your workout routine, help you put together a great eating plan. They also have the best products, and that's what I want to tell you about right now. 213 Complex is by far the best product that Supplement Superstores has ever had when it comes to weight loss and reaching goals, right? Now, there are a lot of things that it does. It hits on a lot of parts of that go into getting to where your goals are. So my goals are to keep adding strength, but to also lose some fat. So what I really love about 213 Complex is the cravings control, right? You're not sitting there like feeling like you want to snack late at night, like you want to eat all the time. You're going to eat on a plan and you're going to follow it because you don't have those cravings. That's my favorite part of 213 Complex. But there are other things that are going on as well. I'm burning more body fat just even while I'm sleeping because it kicks your metabolism into high gear. You get all day focused energy, and that energy is not the same as you get from an energy drink. No jitters, none of that nonsense, no crash at the end of the day. Nice level energy across the course of the day. And it also reduces cortisol levels, which can help you get a better restful night's sleep, which helps with the recovery from your workout. So here's what you do. Go into Supplement Superstores. Ask them about 213 Complex. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they'll knock 30% off the price. And to find your location, just go to supplementsuperstores.com.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're part of it. Expert care and genuine support backed by a network that puts your health first. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday to everybody. 134. So as Michael Calhoun announced a few minutes ago, Iran has struck back at Israel after they were struck yesterday, primarily in a military way and their nuclear sites. But now the quote is all of Israel is under fire by the IDF. That's their quote. And as screwed up as it is, if you want to watch it, you can watch it on CNN. Like, we're just watching it as we speak. And I've seen a couple of explosions on the ground. So it's going on right now. We'll see what happens. And of course, if anything of note happens, we will cut to Michael Calhoun or CBS News and we will let you know. But in the meantime, let's do the Glover Show. Why don't we do Craigslist Price is Right?
Sure. Let's start with the listing right here in St. Louis City. We have 21 vintage, uncut, blank Ford Keys from the 50s and 60s.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
They can deliver or meet you. How much you paying for 21 uncut blank keys?
That is exactly the kind of thing I would buy and would live in my drawer for the next 20 years. In fact, I'm sort of semi-obsessed with drum finishes, and I bought a Ludwig salesman's old things like on a keychain with the squares of like, here's, blue marine pearl, and here's this and here's that. And I paid $30-$40 for it, got it in, looked at each one of them, threw it in the drawer, haven't looked at them since. Kind of the story of my life. $20.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say that. That's perfect.
$5.
I mean, I guess
it's got to be more than that if they're willing to drive to you.
So I just want to meet you.
I'll go 30.
25.
Wheels got it right on the nose. $30 for these 21 uncut blank Ford Keys. Now we have a bunny and a bunny cage. He's a black male bunny. He is very sweet and loves to be held, very healthy, but the owner is barely home to take care of him. He comes with the cage, water, the feeder. His name is and Timothy Hay. I guess that's a brand of hay.
It's kind of hay, yeah.
And a big bag of food and bedding. If any more questions, please let me know. We can work something out. Located in the St. James and Rolla area.
It's a pretty good name for a bunny, Timothy Hay.
I was going to say, were you going to say his name is Timothy
Yeah, I was
Hay?
like, apparently they've buried the
That's
lead,
the
but
stuff
his name
that they
is
line
Timothy.
the crates with. And
that is an adorable name for a bunny.
Yeah.
Timothy Hay.
How much are you paying for Mr. Timothy and his bunny cage, of course?
$75.
50.
I'm going to pay $35 for Mr. Hay.
Wheels gets another one, $100.
Oh, come
For
on.
young Tim the bunny.
Not buying your bunny for $100.
Well, but it's all the stuff.
Yeah, with all the accoutrement.
I mean, the bunny's probably almost free when you consider all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think bunnies are much.
The next listing is out of St. Louis. Star Wars.
Oh.
The whole thing?
It just says Star Wars.
The whole war?
It's actually an Avon gift collection.
Oh.
The box was open to view pics, but the 10 cards are sealed.
Cards?
Trading cards.
It looked like a collector's set that you could order from Avon quite some time ago.
I was going to say, that's probably a 80s thing.
But they're claiming it's in mint condition, other than the fact that the box was opened.
I think they're going to be proud of this one. I'm going to say 50.
Yeah, I'm going to say 100.
20. I think it's garbage.
Dave gets it right on target. $50 for Star Wars. The next listing is Brady Bunch / Beverly Hillbillies. I'm just going to read you the listing. It just says, like new, Brady Bunch, Beverly Hillbillies, No bent pages, no writing on pages. I was able to decipher from looking at the photos. We're looking at some cookbooks here, folks. Some Brady Bunch and Beverly Hillbillies cookbooks.
Like from the show?
From the show.
Now we're talking.
It's a pretty good
It's
idea.
like
Looks kinda
Alice's coleslaw.
Exactly.
Pork chops and applesauce.
It's got to be in there, doesn't it? You could have like Granny's Vittles.
What was Jan's boyfriend's name? Was it George Plate?
No.
Glass.
Yeah, George Glass.
George Glass.
I'm going to go $20.
$10.
30.
Dave gets it right on the money. Again, $30. We have a tie between Dave and Wheels currently. The next listing is out of Kirkwood. New Tie Beanie Baby Bears. New, still in the package. This person is claiming they're from 1977, which is impossible.
I didn't think
We have a liar.
Beanie Babies were more like a 90s thing, right?
Yes, they are definitely not from the 70s. I think this person from
they're
Kirkwood
a
is a
time
little
traveler.
mistaken.
Mm.
But how much do you think they want for these 4 bears?
$100.
So they're just Beanie Babies.
They're Beanie Babies. Beanie Baby Bears. Still in the package.
I like that when you say that all together. Beanie Baby Bears.
Beanie Baby Bears. Well, they're delusional, right? So what did you say?
I said 100.
Oh, that's good. 75.
Andrew?
$6.
$150. Wheels get
Yeah.
another one.
All right.
I took a big swing that they weren't actually as delusional as they sounded, and I was
Beanie
wrong.
Babies come out. 1993 is when the Beanie Babies first came out. But sure, they're from the 70s.
Okay, I'm just going to read this listing as is. Statuary. Baby rhino life size. Like new condition. Makes everyone smile, all caps. Very rare, one of a kind sculpted baby rhinoceros signed by its artist. Can be displayed outdoor or indoor, it doesn't matter. Weighs approximately 80 pounds.
I want it.
Can you see it?
Can see it. He's a little cutie.
Okay.
So this is the size of a baby rhino. So like a huge dog.
You're really taken by this.
Yeah. Put that on my front lawn.
And I will say they're firm on their price. They made sure to point out they're firm on the price.
$300.
You want to go, Dave?
No, I'm gonna let you go.
$400.
400?
Yep.
150.
$600.
Oh,
wow.
Andrew is finally
I think
on
it's
the
worth
board.
it, man.
No.
Give me that ad.
A large vintage plush Lil Scott Clydesdale in like new condition from the Dutzau General Store that goes by DGS. Your weekend thrift shop at 11705 Bluff Road,
Can't
Dutzau,
sue them.
Missouri.
We're
Just
going to
across
have
the
to take
river
them
from
down
Washington.
hard.
What if they've been around longer?
Good
I have
news
to-
is I'm buying your Clydesdale. Bad
Yeah.
news is soon.
Bad news is we are buried.
So it's like a big stuffed animal?
Big stuffed animal. Big stuffed Clydesdale.
How big exactly does it specify?
No, sorry.
Just big,
Just a big little guy.
big little guy.
$40.
25.
70.
Wheels gets another one, $35
Sweet.
for Lil Scott.
He's pulling
I
ahead.
want the rhino, though.
This one's for Dave Glover.
Yeah.
An Instant Pot, but the Pioneer Woman model
Oh.
in excellent condition. This is the 6-quart size model of the special Pioneer Woman edition of the Instant Pot. This versatile unit can cook your food in so many ways and fast. Cook an entire chicken in 30 minutes or make rice even quicker. Also can make soup, stews, and other meals in a very short time.
Is it new?
It's in excellent condition. I cannot confirm that it is new.
That means it's not new.
Right.
That
Well,
means
you
you're
think
cooking
you'd
in
be
someone else's
bragging about
pot.
the fact
Yeah.
that it's new.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I'm sure they cleaned it.
Really? I'm the one making this point?
Well, I mean, you can.
I'm the dirtiest guy in here.
Yeah.
My pants are wide open right now.
That's a fair point. Is
Yeah.
it breezy?
little temperature control going on.
Dave's like, I opened the windows.
Amy'd be very uncomfortable. 50.
All right.
This is a $60 holla.
30.
Dave gets this one. $45. Oh, let's throw back to Michael Calhoun here for a
Okay.
second.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm John Dickerson. Breaking news from the Middle East. Iran has launched missiles towards Israel. Iranian state television says, quote, hundreds of ballistic missiles have been deployed. We've seen explosions all over Tel Aviv, and air raid sirens are going off across Israel. And the Israeli Defense Forces say all of Israel is under fire as Iran fires projectiles. This is in retaliation from last night's attack, really waves of attacks that have targeted nuclear sites and Iran's military leadership. In a televised address, Iran's supreme leader vowed revenge. Let's turn to Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, good to be with you again. Update us really on where we are right now and what your sources are telling you.
Well, John, we are all watching the state TV broadcast out of Iran as the supreme leader, the 85-year-old man who leads the Iranian regime, vowed retaliation, and it appears that's part of what we're seeing. Those plumes of smoke you're seeing over the city of Tel Aviv right now. It's not clear how many of the incoming projectiles, the missiles, may have been intercepted by that U.S.-provided Iron Dome system, or how many may have made impact. It is usually a very strong system that U.S. taxpayers have helped to provide the state of Israel. What we know is that the IDF also announced that it had just carried out yet another round of attacks in Tehran and in other parts of Iran. The fighter jets, according to the IDF, struck another nuclear site in the Isfahan area of Iran. They claim that this was a precision strike in an area where there was enriched uranium and that there was a nuclear weapons production process. Now, that is a difference between Israel's intelligence and what the United States says. The United States intelligence community says that Iran does not have a nuclear weapons program, but that it does have a nuclear enrichment program. That is a difference here in what the U.S. and Israel are thinking, and we are continuing to try to report out how aligned the two allies actually are in the military operation that took place overnight, what Israel called a preemptive strike on multiple locations in Iran. I have heard, John, through my reporting today, calling many regional officials, that Secretary of State Rubio was working the phones hours in advance of the Israeli initial strike, warning allies that something was coming, but this is not us. That was the message he relayed. This is not us. The U.S. distancing itself a bit here. We are trying to really pin that down, because President Trump this morning is touting the fact that Israel is using not just defense systems like the one that may be intercepting those missiles, but also American provided and paid for weapons to carry out the strikes in Tehran. But this is very much an ongoing military operation.
As we watch the military operation continue, Margaret, I want to explore some of those gaps you were just describing.
And the views of Tel Aviv right now on this CBS News special report shows smoke rising amongst several lit up high rises in a densely packed skyline of Tel Aviv. It is dark there. It is nighttime. Those plumes of smoke are likely from the Iron Dome missiles going up into the sky. And you can also see lights in the sky that are believed to be Iranian missiles that have been fired at Israel. Again, we brought you a CBS News special report about these ballistic missiles being fired toward Israel. We'll bring you the latest, the news coming up at 2 o'clock. For now, we'll send it back to Studio B.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
On the Chris and Amy Show, we're launching 100 Acts of Kindness because apparently honking less in traffic doesn't count as charity.
We're teaming up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to prove kindness doesn't have to cost a dime.
Hold the door, say thank you, help your neighbor take out their trash without throwing yours in first.
No grand gesture required, just small, simple acts of human decency. We believe in you.
Join us and share your stories with hashtag 100 Kind Acts.
Kindness, it's like a group hug without the awkwardness.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at just $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the Dave Glover KMOX special.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is?
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Happy Friday. You know, one of the things I'm fascinated about life is how big it is and how many places there are to go and so many things to do and see and how few of those I'm going to do. And I was watching TikTok today, and you know what a wingsuit is?
Yeah.
And these guys are flying wingsuits and they're 10 feet from the cliffs and they're going through the clouds. And I'm like, yeah, there's not a chance in hell.
Just looks so fun.
I ever do that.
I would want to do that before I went skydiving. That just looks more fun to me. Like you're more like racing and in control and not just falling.
I'd want to do it if I was going to die during it.
Yeah, like the wingsuit would be more fun.
Yeah, like if they said, hey, you're not coming out of this.
Either way.
Okay, well, let me have some fun. Let me control where I hit. That went dark, didn't it?
Like I planned on landing.
Yeah, no, that suddenly it's suicidal. I'm just like, yeah, it's my last moment on Earth.
So, don't the wingsuit dudes? Don't they have parachutes too?
I would hope so.
Right? Like I don't know if they are. Like, how do you slow down to land without one?
Yeah,
you'd be hauling ass.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, just think about how much more you've done in your life than like a medieval peasant or something. Like they would think that you were a super, especially because you've done a lot of things just being Dave Glover too.
Yes.
You've had a lot of opportunities that other people haven't necessarily had.
This is true.
So
yeah,
something to keep in mind.
So there's no need for me to be in a wingsuit.
You don't feel bad that
I filled
you
my
haven't
bucket.
done the wingsuit
It does
thing.
still look. That looks fun.
A peasant would think I was an alien.
Yeah.
I actually have a topic. If we maybe want to do this later. I saw this on Reddit and thought it was really funny. It was like, what do we do all the time now that would terrify a person from the Middle Ages?
Everything.
Every part of life.
Driving a car.
Yeah, every part of life except maybe like walking down the road.
Botox.
Taking pictures with a phone. Having a phone.
Going to make myself de-age. They're like, well, he's a god.
God, I mean, like, everything would have to be like terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Think about like the fastest thing you knew at the time was the speed on your horse.
Oh, yeah.
And you just have like cars and motorcycles flying around, bicycles.
I know that when I did my ride along in an Indy car, and I had been in other race cars, and we took that first turn going, I don't know how fast, but my brain just said no.
Yeah, we're not going to make it.
And I knew what was going on. I could see the other cars. They've all made it. My brain just goes, well, this is it.
Yep, we're not making it.
Let's just have a near-death experience.
I mean, helicopters, flying in planes, wingsuits.
If we went back to the Middle Ages, we would be seen as gods, but we would also be completely helpless. Like if we went back there, they'd be like, "This is incredible. You can de-age. You are as a god. God, can you help us? Please milk our cattle." And it's like, "Ooh, can't help you."
Why would you need that if you're the only person around that has a gun?
Can't help you.
What are you using your gun for? When people are wanting you to
You
milk
could
the
be
cattle?
like, you could be the. No, I'm just saying, like you could be
pulling a gun on
you could
somebody
be-
because they asked you for
No,
help.
you could be the biggest badass around. They'd be like, "Sir, we will get you anything you want."
So you're gonna go back just to be a jerk?
No, to help people. Like,
you're
I'm
gonna come back to rob
I'm
people.
gonna be the King's Guard.
I'm so glad I
What do they
traveled
call
back
that?
in time
I'm
so
gonna
that I
be,
could
I'm gonna
rob
be-
peasants of their disgusting
I'm gonna
milk.
be the first knight, and I'm gonna have a really cool sword, but I'm also gonna have that little side piece in there. And as soon as somebody comes up, like, bye, and then everybody's gonna think I'm a wizard. So now I'm a wizard.
I thought I was dark, talking about a suicidal parachute jump.
I want to be the king's right hand man.
Why wouldn't he just be the
Why
king?
wouldn't you just be the king if you could just shoot him in the head?
I don't
You're
want
a
to be the
time
king.
traveler.
I don't want to be the king.
Just execute the king.
I don't want to be the king. Heavy weighs the crown of the king. I just want to be the badass next to him that nobody will mess with, and then be the wizard because you can shoot fire from your hand.
Okay. All right. I
Not
think
that
we
he's thought about this.
I mean,
before
if you
or
could,
I think we
anything.
learned a lot
if
about
you
each
could bring
other.
back a taser, you could even be like, "I have lightning." Blah.
I don't want to go back with Wheeler.
I don't either.
Why? You'd be a boss.
But you'd be my boss. And you're frightening me.
Yeah, the first thing you did was threaten that you had a gun.
No,
That's the first
Because
move.
someone wants you to milk a
It's
cow.
not the first move. It's just how you work your way into the comfortable life. And you're invaluable. They can't mess with you. You're like untouchable. You're the boss.
This is incredible.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey, and between now and the end of the summer, chances are that you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. Well, yeah, I know several as well, but when someone I know needs to sell their home, I always recommend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and here's why you should call, because no matter what the market does, Gloria Liu will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Liu. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
All right, it's almost the weekend, which means I am certainly going to Schnucks. I really look forward to my grocery shopping trips at Schnucks for many reasons. First, Schnucks doesn't really go by the friendliest stores in town the way it did back in the 90s, the early 2000s, but it is the friendliest store in town still. There are so many great workers at the Schnucks that I frequent that, I like to say hi to, and it's always a nice experience. If you need help with something, they're always happy to help. Plus, it's just fiscally a good idea to shop at Schnucks because of the Schnucks Rewards app, first of all. You earn 2% cash back on every single thing that you purchase, which is really, really nice. It even provides you with personalized savings based on what you typically buy at Schnucks. But there's also tons of prices that have been lowered across the store. I'm talking thousands of items in 2025 alone where the price has been lowered, and those are everyday savings you can count on when you shop at Schnucks. So if you haven't done it already, please download the Schnucks Rewards app. It's free. It's easy to set up. It's going to make your grocery shopping life even better. Go download it today, the Schnucks Rewards app.
In Kirkwood, mornings start early, and so does the news. From downtown shops to the farmer's market, KMOX is on.
Congratulations, Debbie in Kirkwood. Debbie from Kirkwood has won tickets to see the Battlehawks play.
Oh, she's going to have a good time.
Oh, she's going to have the best time.
Now on 104.1 FM, KMOX is clearer than ever. Same great stories, same trusted voices, just easier to catch. 104.1 FM, KMOX, the voice of Kirkwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Game.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long.
It's a gunner!
Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM, KMOX. News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 2:00, 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. Iran is bombing Israel. Dozens more ballistic missiles have reportedly been launched since our last update. Citizens are being told to take shelter. Here is CBS News 24/7 coverage.
Israel as the country's military works to intercept dozens of missiles fired from Iran. The missile attacks follow Israel's widespread operation targeting Iranian nuclear sites. Scientists and top military officials, several of Israel's intended targets were killed. The IDF says it is continuing to target other nuclear sites across the country. And CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Keeley is back with me here in Studio 57. So, Courtney, talk about the significance of what we're seeing right now.
Well, this is the retaliation that Israel must have been bracing for. It's Shabbat, it's nighttime, and immediately Israelis and civilians there were ordered to go into shelters. Air sirens were sounding the alarm across the country. The IDF said something up to 100 ballistic missiles were being intercepted, but we're also seeing that plume of smoke over a residential area of Tel Aviv, and it's questionable whether some have gotten through or will they. This requires not just Israel on an all-out defensive stance. It requires their Operation Iron Dome to work, the Patriot battery missiles, defense missiles to work, and also regional allies that often happen in a covert level to aid in getting those missiles out of the sky and not landing in civilian areas in Israel or in Israel proper. It's a very different scene than Iran that has no air sirens and that has no shelters. And that's something Iranians were saying. We don't even have we didn't even hear air sirens last night, or we weren't even notified. And then you saw residential buildings being hit in Iran, which means like concussion strikes, like terrifying sounds of bombings happening all over Iran, taking out, as you said, nuclear scientists, taking out top military commanders that the Supreme Leader.
Again, this is CBS News 24/7 coverage as Iran has launched retaliatory strikes toward Israel.
Evacuate their homes in order to get to the shelters. Walk me through some of the logistics there, and also just the general feel of anxiety or concern amongst Israelis.
Well, people were warned. I mean, after Israel carried out this assault today in Iran, there were warnings that there would be retaliation. So as far as, most people, it's actually a law, you're supposed to have a bomb shelter in your house. So people are hunkering down in those bomb shelters at home. Now, if you don't have a bomb shelter in your own apartment, then you would go downstairs to one that's in the apartment building.
This is, again, CBS News 24/7 live coverage. That's reporter Robert Berger, who is in Jerusalem. Many of the live images have been of Tel Aviv, including one of a high-rise, a skyscraper, believe it to be a residential building, and the side has been blown out, and fires brewing inside of that high-rise. More images now of the Iron Dome. Missiles firing into the sky, also missiles raining down from the sky, explosions in the sky. But this video does show it looks like 2 Iranian missiles that make it to the ground in Tel Aviv. This is a developing story. We'll continue to bring you the latest as we go along on KMOX this afternoon. The Dow from Stifel is down 839 points. That is about 2% to 42,128.
Unsettled skies as we go through our Friday afternoon. The humidity is coming up with scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, 84. Tonight, scattered showers, couple of thunderstorms, non-severe, very humid, 68. Saturday, same story, warm, humid, couple of scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms, 85 degrees. Let's call it partly cloudy Saturday night. 69 Sunday, partly sunny, very humid, but nothing more than a spot thunderstorm on Sunday, 87. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is a cloudy sky right now, 75 in St. Peters, 74 in Florissant, and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday. So if you're a consistent listener, you know that for all 25 of our years, we've always been very supportive of veterans. If you guys ever have a fundraiser or something that benefits veterans, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to feature it. Coming up next weekend, not this one, but the 20th through the 22nd, Operation Ozark Float, Riverview Ranch, Bourbon, Missouri, put on by Irreverent Warriors. The director of Irreverent Warriors is Hugh Tyson, and he joins us now. Hugh, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Dave, what's up, man? Long-time listener. Yeah, how's Phoebe doing?
Phoebe is killing it. Phoebe just got a job as a Smurf, so the evolution of the Glovers continue. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful. My daughter's named Phoebe, too, so we share that in common. Yeah, I was just listening to the news about the rockets raining down on Israel, and I have to admit it kind of re-triggered some of my own combat trauma. I did 3 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Afghanistan as a U.S. Marine, and we were under constant rocket and mortar threat. And there was a couple of tours where we were constantly getting hit. And I understand I completely understand the never knowing of what's going to land where, and that kind of anxiety that just kind of can come into every aspect of your waking moments and even your sleeping moments. So much compassion for them.
Yeah, well, thank you for your service, Semper Fi, brother. So let's talk about that. It's so rare that you get to talk to someone who's been in combat. Someone like me, movies, television. I have no idea what that's like. What is it like to be in that?
I mean, of course, in the Marine Corps, we train extremely hard. So the actual combat's easier than the training, if you can imagine that. Like, you're more sleep deprived in training. You're more, there's more pressure placed on you by leadership, meaning they create scenarios that ramp up the pressure. The weather is worse. You know, anything you name it is going to be more extreme in Marine Corps infantry training. So when we're in combat, it's almost a familiar feeling. Only when you're in training, there is always the risk of death because we're doing dangerous things. I was on several different ranges when Marines were accidentally killed and different things happened, which is horrible. But when you're actually facing your own mortality, there's a lot more of like a existential seeking and inner work that's happening at the same time as experiencing the combat. So it's extremely, as you can imagine, extremely intense part of life, but it's also almost as if the best things in the world and the absolute worst things in the world, you're experiencing them all in a roller coaster in a very short period of time. So anybody that's been in an infantry combat environment and understands that mindset, it definitely was, you know, the biggest growth they ever went through, but also the absolute hell of their life. So, you know, it's good and bad. It's the extremes of humanity, I guess.
That is so interesting, Hugh. I never thought of it in that way. I remember my football team in high school was really good, and I was the second string running back, and I had to face the first string defense, and games were easy compared to practices. You just got your ass kicked. So that
exactly.
Concept makes sense to me, and it makes sense that we would train our Marines like that. That's really, really something.
Yeah, if you think back to the beginning of humans and when they first started organizing to accomplish things, a lot of it was because self-preservation. A lot of it was having to defend against attacks. A lot of it was like a lot of human planning goes back to military roots, you know? And if you think about like Sun Tzu and the art of war and a lot of that stuff, that is still a lot of how military operations are planned and executed today. And that's like 400 BC is a lot of that knowledge came from. And if you think about competitive business strategy, like what McKinsey does, like what happens on Wall Street, a lot of that roots back to military strategy and roots back to Sun Tzu. So it's just like a lot of what you're doing on the football field is things that were learned and over time on the battlefield, like, hey, it's better to practice harder than you play, right?
Yeah, that's really something. We're talking to Hugh Tyson, who is the director of Irreverent Warriors. They're doing Operation Ozark Float Trip, not this weekend, but next weekend at Riverview Ranch in Bourbon, Missouri. Hugh, before we get into the particulars of the event, I want to say that it's been in the last few years doing a bunch of veteran-related podcasts that I really became aware that it's not just war fighters and combat troops who go through PTSD and who have a rough time when they get out. You can be a clerical person, and you don't even have to deploy. Just being in the military can be very trying on people.
Absolutely. And I would add to that and say that a lot of us signed up to serve because we felt a very strong sense of service in protecting others. A lot of where that comes from intrinsically inside of someone is because they themselves in childhood had some pretty extreme events where they did not feel protected. They did not feel served. And they want to turn that kind of experience into something positive. Unfortunately, a lot of times when you go into an intense circumstance with some trauma and some childhood stuff lingering around, and you go through something difficult in some very depressing moments, some very anxiety-ridden moments in the military, and you're taught to stuff those emotions down and just do the mission, and then it almost exacerbates existing trauma and existing mental health issues. And so what we see a lot of is it's basically, you know, all of us as humans on this planet, we all have very difficult childhood moments, betrayals, breakups, family things, right? And it's like if you shove those down and then you're taught and it's reinforced to shove those things down, over time, it can create this kind of building of these negative and dark emotional things that aren't being surfaced. And then when you get out of the military and you just kind of kicked back out, for some folks, they would describe it as like getting out of prison or something like that, where you just are like completely free, but almost too free, almost just spinning freely out of control. And then, it can lead to a lot of coping mechanisms and a lot of problems, and a lot of that panic and anxiety and depression can kind of resurface. So there's a lot going on there. But yes, absolutely, any member of the military, combat or not combat, because I saw a lot of combat. My little brother in the Marine Corps as well did not see any combat. And we both still struggle with a lot of the same mental health stuff when it comes to depression and anxiety. And being able to talk about it and being able to have camaraderie and humor around it, which is what Irreverent Warriors is all about, and being able to get together and go on a float with a bunch of other people who are vulnerable and working on their mental health, and, folks that have dealt with suicidal ideation and aren't afraid to talk about it. And then this float's open to all patriots. It's ran by our veteran group, but it is open to anybody who loves America to come down and hang out with veterans and just laugh and have fun and be patriotic and love one another. And that seems to really do more for healing than the pharmaceuticals that are typically prescribed. So, the data is showing that this kind of peer support actually does more for people's mental health than the pharmaceuticals. So it's been really remarkable.
Guys, any questions for Hugh before we get into the details? But you did such a great job of explaining all of that, Hugh. So tell everyone the particulars and how they can get involved.
Absolutely. So if you want to join us June 20th through the 22nd, it's about an hour south of St. Louis. Go to OperationOzarkFloat.com, OperationOzarkFloat.com, or go to IrreverentWarriors.com. Either way will get you there. It's $99, covers your campsite, food, boat, bonfire, all the fun, all the laughs. So $99 is the cost. The doors open 2 p.m. on June 20th, OperationOzarkFloat.com.
Excellent. Hugh, if you do this again, I'm just thinking to myself, $99 is a really great price, but just in case there are people out there who don't have it, let's do a scholarship program next year.
Absolutely. You got it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Hugh.
Sure.
That was great.
That's great stuff. I mean, just hearing that description, it makes so much sense. But more interestingly, when he was just basically explaining how so many things spring up from that the very beginnings of like the philosophies that led to what defense is, right?
Yes.
What the military in our world, but it's just in the old days when we're just organizing, there would be people that were just defending, right? And then maybe at some point, eventually, well, not at some point, we know it did, not maybe. Yeah. Eventually, it also became about branching out, and you would use that force to attack another force to secure your own future, I guess you could say. But it's fascinating to think about how many things branch off of that.
Yeah, so true. Sandra is asking, are you going to do another live show at the Wildey soon? Sandra, I'm not sure we're going to do it this year. I think we may be over here on the St. Louis side in October to celebrate the 25th anniversary. I think the place we're going to do it, although we've not settled on a place, will be about 400 seats. So plenty of room. And then I promise you, though, that we will be back to Wildey next year at the latest. Wildey's my favorite theater.
Yeah.
The Sheldon was a privilege and an honor to do. It's an amazing place, 720 seats, perfect acoustics. But the Wildey is my hometown. It's where I saw Star Wars in 1977.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's your heart place.
That's my heart place. Yeah. So we'll do that again, I promise. Okay. All right.
All right, then.
Okay. This is going to work out. My pants are ripped.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Still standing, man.
Still standing.
Breaking
Just
into
don't bend
Elton, just
over.
breaking into Elton John. I'm still standing.
Bending over is not the problem.
What's the problem?
I don't even need to bend over. Like it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And who
But also
brings extra
pretty hilarious.
jeans, right?
Nobody.
Nobody.
That would be weird if you did.
I do have extra.
Thank you.
I might have an extra pair of sweatpants in the car if you want them.
Oh.
I might.
I vote for that to happen.
You think so?
I'll go
I
look
think you
during the
should
break.
put on Wheels' sweatpants.
I'm happy doing that.
I mean, yeah.
I might have my baseball pants outside.
Actually, Wheels, you should
Actual
put on the
baseball
sweatpants
pants?
and then give them to
Yeah,
give your
that's what I
jeans
wore
to
the other
Dave.
day.
This is
I think
true.
my jeans are gonna be a little too big for Dave. I think
Only one way to find out.
I I mean, we're pretty close to the same height, but I'm a little bit wider. And by a little bit, I mean quite a bit.
Man, I saw, did you see The Athletic had a, what's the word I'm looking for? They ask a bunch of major league
they did
players.
a poll of players on
That
a
was
number of topics.
So, Rach, they asked a bunch of major league players, what's it really like to play in the MLB and what sucks about it?
Yeah.
And they were, I thought, very cognizant of, well, I'm a millionaire telling you, working person, how this sucks. I get the fact that we fly charters and they check us into the hotel and they're top 5-star hotels. But it really was interesting, just like spending that much time away from your family. But even if you're single and you enjoy it, just spending that much time on the road.
Yeah.
It's just a very chaotic life,
Yeah.
it seems like.
Yeah. Every one of the guys that I've ever spoken to will always acknowledge, look, there's a reason they choose to do it.
Sure.
Right? They do get paid very well. Your minimum salary is just under $800,000 a year. There's a reason everyone chooses to do it. Not to mention the fact that it is a lot of fun, right? Those guys are having fun, but that doesn't mean it isn't very difficult. And I think what was interesting is the sheer number of people, even family members of some of the players, who don't get how much time it is. Like this one guy, they're all anonymous, but he was saying how even a family member's like, yeah, we're going to be in town for the game. Can you do dinner at 5 the day of the game? It's like 5. The game's at 7. I'm going to be there at noon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there like latest these guys get there is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, because you got to work out, you got to eat, you got to go to meetings, you got to watch video, you got to do batting practice, you got to do your whatever physical therapy you need to do depending on your health situation. I mean, there is just that's the part I don't think people get. It's not like Little League, where you show up an hour before the game, stretch, throw, hit, and go. Like there's a lot of work that goes in, and that includes post game. A lot of these guys will do workouts post game.
That's crazy.
And like that. So it's more than people think, but it's not torture. No. Right. But it is harder than people think it is. And that's what drives me nuts when people are like, oh, she's got a hurt toe, can't play through it. I play through it. Like, yeah, okay, but you don't have to stop on a dime. You don't have to have precision down to the thousandth of a second to do things. Like it's not as simple as people make it out to be.
And no one has millions of dollars invested in you.
Right.
I mean,
and that's a part that people also sometimes forget is the teams have a say.
Yeah.
In how your injury is going to be treated.
Yeah.
You can, sometimes a star player or veteran player can say, no, I'm doing this. You can't stop me. But most of the time there are two parties involved in that. No, it was that part of the survey was really interesting. And it was also interesting if you go read the comments, because the comments were people like, oh, bunch of whiners, and like, no, they're just explaining the parts that aren't visible. They are all happy to be major league players. They've spent their whole lives doing this, which is another part that doesn't get recognized. The average person, I don't think, has an idea of how many hours those guys spend from the time they're 10 until they get to be established major leaguers just to get there. And it's a lot.
That's why I didn't do it.
It's why it's an obstacle for a lot of people. A lot of the kids that I've coached, man, the best ones, they're high school kids. They're 16, 17, 18 years old. They're not going to parties on Friday nights. They're working out. And they're hitting in their facility. And then they're going to bed early because they got a 10 o'clock game the next day. They're not there. You have to sacrifice a lot. And one of the guys was like, I've missed my mom's last 17 birthdays. And another guy was like, yep, missed prom, didn't do any of those things. You miss all of those things to do this. And again, it's your choice. And there's a big benefit once you're a major leaguer, but don't lose track of that.
Yeah. Tell you guys about Mosby Building Arts. Everyone knows Mr. Mosby that did decades on KMOX. Some of his staff still do the weekend show. Just sort of a legend in the building community. Mosby does pretty much everything, but for your purposes, think specifically like kitchens, some general construction around the house. They love doing outdoor projects. I've talked about quite openly and vulnerably that I'm sort of a coveter and a hater. And so if you have me over to your cool house in Ladue or Clayton and you've got some big outdoor feature and a big patio and a chimney and all that kind of stuff, I am coveting. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. That's the kind of stuff that Mosby Arts does all the time. They have it set up where you can get a really good idea of what you're looking at. So like on a monthly payment kind of a schedule, garage doors from $69 a month, decks from only $299 a month, any sort of outdoor project. They're going to have custom pricing for outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, porches, pergolas, and more. Details at Call Mosby, M-O-S-B-Y, callmosby.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Taco to go, taco to, and a big Q. Taco to go, taco to go. Quick Trip Taco just $2.99. Comes with a big Q, they steal so fine. Brisket breakfast, so much to choose for $2.99. You really can't lose. Taco to go, taco to, this deal legit. Taco to go, taco only at Quick Trip. Taco to go, taco to go, taco to go, $2.99 to go.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 AM. Streaming live on the Odyssey app. And now at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Only a couple more days to vote for us in the A-List Awards with St. Louis Magazine. We have a link on our Facebook, or you just go to stlouismagazine.com, and you can vote each day. If everyone voted once, we'd win.
Yeah, and please vote this weekend because I believe voting stops on the 16th.
I think you're right.
We actually have a link to vote on today's stream, so you can find it there on the DGS Facebook page.
Perfect. I have a hot take for you.
Let's hear it.
Chipotle's trash.
Oh.
I just can't stand it.
Really?
It's the worst of everything.
Really?
Yes.
I like Chipotle.
Why
It's a good
do you
go-to.
say that, Dave?
It's just, to me, it's just like the worst ingredients put together in a bad way. Maybe I just got a bad one last night.
Maybe. I mean, like, I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's good.
Yeah.
Qdoba, the same thing. I think they're both kind of like
likey.
No,
I like the concept. Like if you had to eat one thing every day, what would it be? I'd say rice, meat, and vegetables.
And
so it's
beans and
right
stuff.
in my wheelhouse. It's just tasteless. What do you guys think is trash that other people seem to like?
That's a good question. I
you
mean,
mean restaurant stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I might agree. Like Chipotle 5 years ago versus now is like a totally different.
Yeah, it was better
restaurant,
before,
in my opinion. So
yeah,
it was better before.
Yes,
I don't know if I would call it trash, but I agree with you that the quality is not.
It was definitely
you're bringing
better.
back memories.
Yeah.
There's one on Lindbergh I used to go to 5-10 years ago, and it was much, much better.
Yeah,
it was like real food.
I don't know if it varies based on the store, but it and again, maybe it's just my view. But it seems like it's not as good.
I feel vindicated.
Yeah.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center. And if you are like me, you do have anxiety about getting that colonoscopy because after the age of 45, that's when they tell us it is a good time to do it. And we should start at this time. But there is no better place to do it than at Siteman Cancer Center. And they have a great resource. If you don't live all that close to St. Louis and you want to find a place closer to you, GetScreenedNow.com will help you locate a place closer to you so you don't have to come all the way to the city to do it. And it's a great resource for colon cancer. If you're getting screened for prostate or for lung or breast cancer, they will find a place for you at GetScreenedNow.com. We know that 4 out of every 10 adults at some point will develop a cancer. Early detection is so important. Find the resources you need, a location you need to get screened by going to GetScreenedNow.com.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings. The perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more.
Let's check in now with Dave Murray's forecast.
Unsettled skies as we go through our Friday afternoon. The humidity is coming up with scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, 84. Tonight, scattered showers, couple of thunderstorms, non-severe, very humid, 68. Saturday, same story. Warm, humid, couple of scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms, 85 degrees. Let's call it partly cloudy Saturday night. 69 Sunday, partly sunny, very humid, but nothing more than a spot thunderstorm on Sunday, 87. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're part of it. Expert care and genuine support backed by a network that puts your health first. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code QUOTE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tonight, the Cards, the Brewers.
Emeren Total Access 615.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bernie's segment is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Time to talk to our good pal, Bernie Miklasz. Hello, Bern.
What's happening today?
I want to talk about my feelings.
Oh, that's good.
I know that you and Wheels are both kind of non-feelings guys. You're about.
Oh, no. You got that wrong about me. Way wrong.
Okay, good.
I'm a big-time feelings guy.
Okay, then let me tell you about mine. I don't know if there's any support for it, but I am personally kind of living and dying with every game and feeling like the next 3 weeks are the season. With the Brewers coming back and the Cubs on this run and we're, down, and I understand that it's a long season. We're not even halfway through, but I'm in my feelings.
Listen, you're not, David, man, you're not cuckoo for thinking that because there's a lot at stake here. The Cardinals are free falling. I mean, everybody wanted to, pop champagne when they beat the Dodgers twice in a row, but they were having some problems before that, and they're having problems after that. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row. They've lost 9 out of 13. They've lost 12 out of 21. But it isn't just that they're losing. They don't look good. Their offense has shut down during this 4-9 stretch, averaging only 3.6 runs per game. That's 27th out of the 30 teams. Their starting pitching is just burning up. Since May the 20th, they have a 5.64 starting pitching ERA. That's 28th. And, there's just too many hitters that have gone south. There's too many pitchers that have gone south. So my point is your apprehension or your anxiety is based on facts. It's based on every area of the team not playing as well as it was, defense included, although the defense is fine. But the pitching's falling apart and the hitting's falling apart. And, when you see this tough schedule coming up, and listen, man, I'm number one. We're tied for first on the list of people that talks about long season. Okay. Just watch the team and how they're playing. And if they're going to play this bad with this stretch coming up against teams they need to do well against, well, they're going to be in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, I think I would say mathematically you're not in or out based on the next 3 or 4 weeks, but the way that they're playing now is the polar opposite of what we saw up till about 2.5 weeks ago, where it was really good, right? So now we've hit the stretch. How fast can you turn it? That to me is the key for the best teams, Burn. Like they're going to all have bad runs. How fast can you turn it back around? And it's hard when you point out, like if you look at this at the month of June, your ERA is over 5 as a staff, and obviously not trending in the right way for a lot of guys. Even going back to mid-May, you were good, the latter part of May. That was part of the good stretch. But if you go back a month, they're in the bottom 3 or 4 in baseball in slugging, on-base percentage, weighted runs created, isolated power, all of that. They're managing runs during that whole time. 16th in runs in that month window. But as you point out, it's a lot worse now. The last 2 weeks have been bad on the offensive side.
Well, it's been, listen, I appreciate your stats, but it's been trending down really since the opening month. The offense got worse in May and it's getting worse in June. So it goes back deeper than what you say, my friend. And so that's what I look at. Okay, you tell me if the arrow, let's talk about a team's defense. Let's talk about the starting pitching. Let's talk about the bullpen. Let's talk about the offense. Is the arrow pointing up or is the arrow pointing down over the last couple months?
Oh, down.
The arrow's pointing down. That's my point. So how do you turn all this stuff around? And, you got to score runs. And how do you do that with a leadoff man that never gets on base anymore?
I mean, Matt Pauley and I were talking about that the other day. Not just him, but every guy that would be a candidate to bat leadoff. So let's say you want to move Newt. Well, Mason Wynn's got a 530 OPS in June, and Brendan Donovan before the injury was a 574 hitting 200 in the month of June. And so Victor Scott hit a $120 this month. Like there's no answer to shuffle the deck except maybe just try stuff, just do stuff to see if it, and I'll say this, Burn, it won't fix everything, but this is all part of the argument to why Nolan Gorman should be playing more. Because he's actually, when he's played in the month of June, has hit. His OPS is 1,000 this month. So maybe forcing him into the mix and giving these other guys days off is part of the answer. But one guy doesn't change 4 or 5 guys. Yeah,
and Gorman has been playing more recently. Well, I have a radical solution, and now I don't believe there's a chance this will happen. So I'm acting like one of these people on a message board, just losing my mind. But it's based on reality. We all listen. It ain't going to happen because the Cardinals have a logjam, and it ain't going to happen also because the Cardinals really don't have that big of a runway. They say they do, but they don't. They have a guy right now who, by the way, was the 7th overall pick in the draft last year, and everyone says best hitter in the draft. This guy's natural-born hitter.
Yep.
J.J. Weatherholt is an on-base machine. He is a freaking on-base machine. I mean, his on-base percentage down in Double-A this year is over 450. And over the last 10, 12 games, he's got an on-base percentage over 500. And he also hits for power. J.J. Weatherholt, you could put him at leadoff. You could put him anywhere. Oh, but the Cardinals can't do something radical. No, we can't do that. They won't even put Michael McGreevy in their rotation. It's funny how the Milwaukee Brewers don't hesitate to go with kids anytime they think the kid will help. That's not the way it goes in St. Louis.
I have been wanting to ask you guys about that, but have been a little sheepish about it because I knew there was some answer I didn't know off the top of my head. But it's not like a 19 or 22-year-old can't be great. I would be a fan of bringing Weatherholt up. I would be a fan of bringing McGreevy up. I'm a fan of, hey, this isn't working. Let's try something. And if that doesn't work, we haven't heard it any.
Well, let me give you an example. I thought last night was a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. The Brewers have had, and this will take a minute, the Brewers have had 7 pitchers on the IL this year. It has been absolute chaos, okay? Pat Murphy, who's an excellent manager, he's had to use relievers as starters. They've started 13 different guys, starting pitchers, some of whom were relievers. But despite all those injuries and all that chaos, they've got the second best starting pitching ERA in the National League, okay? Cardinals have had no injuries in their major league staff as far as starters. They got the 10th best all season, 10th best starting pitching ERA. And, okay, here's the reason I'm setting this up. So the Brewers traded Aaron Savali today to the White Sox. Now, Savali was interrupted by a hamstring injury, but in his last 4 starts for the Brewers, he had an ERA about 3.35, some 3.35, something like that. They thought the big kid that we saw last night was ready. So they said, well, Savali, man, thank you, but you're going to go to the bullpen. And then his agent asked for a trade, and they got him out. So they removed a guy that was actually pitching well at the time they demoted him, right? The Cardinals have a guy, McGreevy, down there right now who is better than 3 or 4 of the guys they have. And you see the Brewers moving a veteran aside to plug in this 6'7" dude who throws 100, and the Cardinals could have stood there for 5 hours and not hit this guy.
No doubt.
But Michael McGreevy can't get an opportunity here. The Brewers gave an opportunity to the guy last night, though they call Miz. They gave him an opportunity, even though they have much better starting pitching. That, my friends, in a nutshell, is why the Brewers are so much smarter than the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's been this way since 2017.
Hard to argue. And it's, part of it too, Bern, is like every year there's somebody new joining that team that you've never heard of before, who comes out throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. Their closer, McGill, was a nobody until last year. Like a 29-year-old rookie, nobody heard of. He comes out here. This guy throws 100 miles an hour, and he pitches so well that we're happy to trade Devin Williams as our closer because this guy can do the job.
Something I always remember, and this is purely anecdotal. It's the very definition of it. But when Bolger was playing for the Rams and he and I were hanging out all the time, I forgot who got hurt, but they brought in a new running back and he was doing really great. He goes, here's what no one tells you, Glove. Like, the second string running back is just as good, maybe better than 90% of the first string running backs. Like, every now and then you're going to get a Steven Jackson or, someone like that, or, Walter Payton. But he said the depth in professional athletics, some of the greats are only great because they got a shot when someone got hurt. And I've always thought about that for baseball too.
No, I agree. And gosh, baseball, especially because, I shouldn't say especially because there's a lot more players on an NFL roster, but baseball, because it's a 162 game season, it creates all kinds of opportunities because players get hurt, pitchers get hurt, even if it's only for a couple weeks, they get hurt and you got to plug someone else in. So you always have an opportunity. If you're doing well in the minors and you're young and you're an upcoming player, not a journeyman like this dude that they just designated for assignment who Marmol started 5 games or whatever in a row and couldn't get a hit. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about young and up and coming guys with big upside. It's a great, baseball offers a great format to give those guys a chance. I don't know why Sajaci's not up here. It doesn't make any sense to me. Jose Barrero doesn't play. He has started 2 games since May the 6th, and they've been in center field. So I don't know what his purpose is. I just don't.
No.
And you can't tell me that Sajaci couldn't be mixed into this lineup at 3 infield positions in enough time, especially since they brought Ciani back up, which I'm fine with. You can't tell me that they can't work Sajaci in that lineup for enough starts to have it worth his while. Because they're running Brendan Donovan to the ground. He's hurt. Arenado's 34. Mason Wynn plays his tail off, but we saw him tire out later last season. So don't tell me that there's no work for Sajaci in the infield. So you know what the answer is. You don't want to give him that work.
Yeah. I mean, this is the argument about Gorman too, right? I mean,
why though?
You have all these reasons to play him and all these ways to do it, but they don't want to do it.
I don't know. You can tell by my voice. I apologize to all of our listeners. I'm actually in a good mood. I swear I am. I'm in a really good mood today. But this team and the decision-making process is just so exasperating, And so, back to the original question, Dave.
Yeah,
I have a hard time sort of reining in what I'm feeling when I see any team that I care about doing all these obstinate, stubborn things that make no sense. I get worked up about that. So maybe I need to control myself, but I don't think so.
No.
I think these are legitimate things to be fussing about.
But I have so many more questions, but we're out of time right now.
Well, wait. We got you at the 5 o'clock hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I love being with everybody here on the DGS. Saliga Heating and Cooling will be taking care of anybody who calls them. It includes Dave Glover a while back. Saliga Heating and Cooling has been taking care of those families since 1927. This Daikin Comfort dealer has been taking care of the Miklas's since, I forget the exact year, but it's about 16, 17 years. And listen, I wouldn't talk about anyone in positive terms unless I really believed it. Man, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mislead listeners to KMOX. It's just, I don't want to hurt my own reputation, but I can tell you 100% in terms of approval rating through a long time dealing with Saliga Heating and Cooling, which they set the standard for honesty and knowledge and professionalism and prompt service. They have a family business. They're so proud of it, and they want to maintain the excellent reputation. So who benefits? You do. And we have looked to them for all kinds of problems, both small or large, an old house. We had, at one point, we had old equipment, and Saliga keeps us up and running. And you know what, though? They don't try to talk us into anything. They actually look for cheaper ways to solve the problem. That's what I'm talking about with integrity. So if you want integrity and knowledge and professionalism and classiness when they come into your home, it's Saliga Heating and Cooling. And one more thing, because this all falls in with what I just talked about. They have the Priority Club. It's a maintenance program. It's not a gimmick. It really works. They come out 2 times a year, and they check everything, and they make sure your equipment's running well. There's no problem. Even if they find something, most of the time it's really smooth, and they can take care of it on the spot for very little charge. And this way, you know your stuff is working for every season of the year. You know that you're going to extend the life of your equipment because Saliga comes out and regularly checks on it, and you will save money long term. So this is what I'm talking about, why Saliga is so great. Another example. So go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and this Daikin Comfort dealer will take great care of you. Thank you.
Summer's coolest mattress deals are going on now at Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. This summer, save up to $1,000 on select mattresses and say goodbye to hot sleep and save up to $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze collection. Plus, feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Better sleep starts at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
The legends ride again. Willie Nelson and the Outlaw Music Festival is rolling back into St. Louis, June 28th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Don't miss the living legends, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, along with Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, and more, live right here in St. Louis. This is country the way it was meant to be. Tickets are still available, so get them before they're gone. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Friday. Okay, Wheels, I have another Cardinals question for you that I didn't want to ask Bernie because I didn't want to get yelled at. I understand the basics of at the trade deadline being buyers or sellers. Right. I understand that. What I don't understand is, let's say that we're sellers. Let's say that we end up crap in the bed and we're 5 games below 500 and we're 10 games out. You're not trying to give away your team. You're trying to better your team.
Right.
What are some possible ways we might try to do that?
So if you're selling, what you're probably going to try to do, and here's the real question, right? Who are you willing to trade and who is willing to be traded?
Mm-hmm.
So will Nolan Arenado waive his no trade clause? Because if you're trading him, that's entirely about moving money, right? You're not that worried about what you're getting in return. It's about moving off the contract.
Which has never been harder because now we'd have to eat more and more of his salary.
I would think you'd have to eat, and not just this year, but like in next year too.
It just gets worse.
Right, because it's only one more year at the full price. So it's getting to the point where it's not as tough to eat if you're eating half of it, but you're going to have to probably.
And he's not been terrible.
No, he's a great defender. Offense has been really hit or miss.
Yes.
Like he's doing pretty well right now, but for a long stretch, he was not. So it's but that's the way it's going to be probably, again, considering age and everything. So there's that. Does Sonny Gray want to be traded? He's got a no trade clause. Does he want to move? Because he would be very valuable to a contender. That would be a guy, if you're trading him, it's to get quality in return.
Okay, do this for me. Let's say that I'm interested in what we would get for Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Let's say Sonny was on another team and we're going to give up Cardinals for him.
Yeah.
What level Cardinals would we give up?
So you're not going to end up giving up or getting guys that are like JJ Weatherholt.
Okay.
Or Quinn Matthews or guys like that. You'd maybe look towards players that are like McGreevy, that are not like top 100 prospects, but they're good and they're close and they can help you in the not too distant future. So you'd look even younger for kind of lottery tickets, right? So a guy that's maybe 19 but a little wild, but he throws 100.
So you're not looking for 2026.
Not necessarily. I mean, again, it could be. It would depend on what the other team, like maybe it is a AAA player that's blocked somewhere, but that's a place where you could use some depth. Or you could use it. Like the Cardinals are going to need starting pitching next year, right? Eric Fedde is gone. Miles Mikolas is gone. You've got Palante, Liberatore, and Sonny Gray. But in this scenario, if you're trading Sonny Gray, you've only got 2 of those guys back, and we're not even sure Palante is going to be that good right now, right?
Yeah.
We're learning that whether or not he's going to be that. So if you're getting, and then look at McGreevy's probably the only one who's definitely going to be ready to pitch in the big leagues next year as far as prospects. Quinn Matthews might be. Takeo Roby might be. He was killing it at AA, and he's at AAA now. But you need numbers, too, because there's not a lot ready behind those guys. So if you're going to add to that group of guys that are either here or close to here, that would be ideal for next year. But if you could get a better longer-term offer, you'd probably rather have that because you can sign free agents. You can go sign a veteran pitcher. You can do stuff like that. So every guy that they would move is a little bit different story.
And if we were going to spend $30 million on someone, we're not. But if we were, what would you look for?
Another Sonny Gray type, an older pitcher who's still good on a 2 or 3 year contract. This is not a team that's going to be in a good position to sign a $220 million starter or a $280 million starter. Because look at Arizona signed Corbin Burns this offseason. They went out and spent $30 million a year. $220 million. He just went down with Tommy John surgery, so he'll be done until 2027. Like that's the risk that mid-market teams get stuck by.
Yeah.
So you're better off buying big on shorter term guys or spending bigger on offense and developing your own pitching.
Hey, it's Trish, ready to do that bathroom remodel? While many companies are raising prices due to tariff uncertainty, Michael's Bass is doing the opposite. They're offering $500 off any shower or tub replacement and $1,000 off a full bathroom remodel, turning market challenges into savings for their customers. Michael's Bass remodel bathrooms all over St. Louis, 5-star reviews on Google, and A+ rating with the BBB. Locally owned, family owned, Michael's Bass, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbass.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for Game Day Men's Health. You can find him at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Look, if you're not feeling right, don't just deal with it. I did that for a long time and it was stupid. I'll be honest with you, but like 4 months ago, I came into contact with my buddy Matt, who runs Game Day Men's Health, and I went through the process. It's super easy. You set up a consultation. You do a blood test. They tell you, all right, here's where we can help you. And they have all different types of ways to help you. My path right now is testosterone replacement therapy. My numbers were low, man. I didn't know it, but it explains why I was dragging. It explains why I didn't love working out, that my recoveries from workouts were difficult, all of that. So now I'm back to normal, and I have not felt this good in 10 years, 10, 11, 12 years. I don't know when. It's been a long time, and I notice the difference every single day. But maybe that's not your issue. Maybe you're going to look at peptides if you're training for an Ironman or something. Maybe you're looking at medical weight loss. Maybe you're looking for some help in the bedroom. They have that option for you as well. Do not be shy. Do not hesitate. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com and check it out, because everything is overseen by board-certified physicians. The staff are trained experts in men's health. I love every person over there. They're super cool. Everything is like military clockwork. You get in, you get out, you go, and everything's included in one price. So set yourself up for the best, right? I mean, you want to make sure that you feel as good as you can all the time. I go to the Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri locations. There's 3 area locations. You can find out more at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. It is my duty to protect Missouri consumers from fraud and deception. In the last year alone, we've secured over $400 million in restitution, settlements, and judgments. If you've been a victim of a fraud or scam, please report it to our office at 1-800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Sponsored by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Hey, St. Louis! MERS Goodwill is proud to sponsor the St. Louis City Match on June 14th, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. This is more than just a match. It's a day of giving back. Bring your new or gently used clothing and household items to donate at designated drop-off zones outside Energizer Park between 12:30 and 3 p.m. Join us for the City and Goodwill donation drive on June 14th. Give hope, give local, give goodwill.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Summer's coolest mattress deals are going on now at Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. This summer, save up to $1,000 on select mattresses and say goodbye to hot sleep and save up to $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze collection. Plus, feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Better sleep starts at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock right now, downtown at the Arch, it is a cloudy sky, some thunderstorms in parts of the region, and we're standing at 76 degrees.
CBS News special report. Iran has launched missiles at Israel, whose defense systems are intercepting many of them, but some have landed, including in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. An American official now confirms the U.S. is helping Israel intercept the missiles. The IDF has ordered all citizens into shelters. CBS News contributor Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
People are hunkering down in those bomb shelters at home. Now, if you don't have a bomb shelter in your own apartment, then you would go downstairs to one that's in the apartment building.
Troops at 2 U.S. bases, one in Iraq and one in Syria, were ordered into bunkers. About an hour ago, they've now left those shelters. CBS's Margaret Brennan.
Secretary of State Rubio was working the phones hours in advance of the Israeli initial strike, warning allies that something was coming, but this is not us.
CBS News special report. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin asked during a stop at Cahokia Heights about the situation.
It scares me.
He says there's a delicate balance between keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon and sparking a greater regional war.
Well, I think the president said the right thing this morning. He said to the Iranians, don't escalate this conflict. Let's resolve this conflict. You cannot have nuclear weapons, but there can be a future for your country. I think that was the right advice. I hope they take it.
Oil prices jumped to a 5-month high on Israel's attacks on Iran. Here's Jason Brooks.
Americans will feel the surge in oil prices at the gas pump in the coming weeks. And according to energy market analysts, there won't be much relief anytime soon. Capital economics analysts point out that 25% of global oil supplies and 20% of liquid natural gas shipments pass through the Strait of Hormuz, which is vulnerable to Iranian attacks. And an analyst with financial firm ING says a serious disruption in the strait would hike the price of oil to around $120 a barrel. Research firm TS Lombard, however, says that if the U.S. refrains from intervening, that will lessen the threat to oil supplies.
This just in, Marines are now seen standing outside the federal building in Los Angeles as they begin operations. The Missouri National Guard is on standby this weekend in case anti-Trump protests turn violent, but who decides if they get called off the sidelines?
According to SLMPD spokesman Mitch McCoy, Chief Robert Tracy would have to request the Guard's assistance first.
The Chief of Police would be the one to call in the National Guard.
McCoy says the department has been in touch with the governor's office and will use all means necessary to protect the city. He praised those who participated in both of Wednesday's protests for remaining peaceful. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, Chesterfield-based agribusiness giant Bunge says it's gotten approval from China for a merger with grain handler Viterra. Regulators in the European Union, Canada, and elsewhere have already approved the deal. The $34 billion merger is being called the largest ever global agriculture merger. Bunge expected to close about July 2nd. The combined locally based company will be closer in size to larger rivals Archer Daniels Midland and Cargill. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now with Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott?
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. As anticipated, the reaction of most investors to the news of Israeli strike on Iranian nuclear sites was to sell assets and wait to see how events develop. At the close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 769 points, a drop of 1.8% to 42,197. The Standard & Poor's 500 index losing 1.1% to 5,976, while the NASDAQ Composite Index gave up 1.3% to 19,406. The Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index, the worst performing index today, dropped 1.9% to 1,534. Looking at some local stocks, Peabody Energy gained 2.75% to $13.64. As heard earlier on KMOX, Bunge in merger talks up 5.7% at $81.41. On the downside, Stifel Financial slipped 1 2/3% to $95.37. Post Holdings down 1.25% at $112.18. Edgewell Personal Care capping off a bad week, losing another 6.75% to $23.16. For KMOX, this has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got a disabled vehicle 44 west at Antire. That's in the left lane. Also 6440 east at Big Bend. Disabled vehicle in the right lane. 270 south at Doherty Ferry. The right shoulder is blocked there. 70 westbound at 141. The right shoulder is blocked. 70 east at Hanley in the right lane. 70 westbound at West Florissant. Right shoulder is closed there.
A slow-moving low-pressure system in play over the next 24 to 36 hours. Scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms going through the afternoon. It's quite humid. At least it's coming back. 84 for the high. Scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms tonight. Very humid, 68. Saturday, warm and humid with scattered showers, maybe a non-severe thunderstorm, 85 degrees. Things quiet down a little bit on Sunday. Partly sunny, though very humid. Nothing more than a spot thunderstorm on Sunday. 87 degrees. I think we're 90 plus getting into next week. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical. Right now, downtown at the Arch, it's 77 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call even though it's late, JerryKelly.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 307. Our buddy Alvin Reed is here with us, and I will be honest, we are talking about how many people would have to die until we would be in line for a Cardinals broadcast position.
Yeah, and you know that we still may not be in that line.
Oh yeah, they could all die.
They could easily call Memphis or Springfield.
Right, right.
Peoria's right up the road.
Well, maybe they'll have like announcer old timers day.
There you go.
And just so like, hey, like, you know, and these are the kind of things that happen when your team like is completely like out of contention. Like the Rockies will probably like be asking people to come broadcast some games by the end of the season. So maybe that's our niche right there. We could, hey, do you feel like doing a game? Do you think you can get enthused for the game this late September? I said, sure, I can. I could do it.
Well, it seems like they once a game have a little kid go in and do John Hewlett's job. So maybe I'll just apply for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
do
little
that for like an
little
inning,
Davey Glover from oh my God, it's Dave. And I'll just be like, up next, Lars Nootbaar.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right. Or maybe we could, which of the teams still plays? The one out in St. Peter's is not playing, but the one over on the Metro East, they do play, right?
Someone's playing out in O'Fallon.
Oh, all right.
Well, no, that's College League that runs out there.
All right. Okay.
At TR Hughes, which is now, it's called something else now, though. It's Carshield Field.
Yeah. You know, I think I once like did one out there and they said, hey, if you ever like to do it again, I said, well, what is it? You know, is it pay? No, we don't pay anything. I said, no.
If you just would like to do it.
You'd like to do it. I was like, no, St. Peter's. I said, like, yeah, you played at Kirkwood High School.
Hey, dude,
maybe.
I put myself in the old man baseball draft. You want to do it with me? You want to be shortstop and second base?
I can still do it.
Okay.
All right. I could still do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if I get picked up, I'll tell them I have a buddy.
Okay. All right. I could still do it. And I'll be ready. Like I said, I'll have, I don't want to say too much time on my hands, but I'll have more time on my hands.
Good.
All right.
Good.
I look forward to it.
Are you looking forward to tomorrow's military parade?
I'm going to skip the military parade tomorrow. I have other things to be doing.
More pressing matters.
Yeah, the military parade takes on, even more whatever after the events of today.
Yeah.
It just looks bad. That's all. But I'm not going to go into it. Look, I support the military. Have a great day. Not down with military parades in the United States of America.
I agree. I agree. And part of it is because we're so strong.
Yeah.
Right? If you have that sort of, what kind of energy, you don't need to unzip your pants.
That's how I've always felt about it. I've told you over the years, I said, like, now, if there was ever a situation that need to be handled, the United States of America can handle.
You've always said that
with its military. It's just not, you don't even have to be there. That's why I said, like, this just looks bad because it looks like it's about one person. And maybe it's not, but I just like it's unnecessary. It's just unnecessary.
What's your take on has been going on in LA?
Well, I think when you confront law enforcement, be they right, wrong, whatever, you're on the losing side when you're taking a physical battle to those that are there for whatever reason. Sit down in the street, do whatever you need to do, but don't get into the riotous altercations. That defeats the purpose all the way around. Meanwhile, at home, I think it is lunacy to say, I've already called out the National Guard in Missouri just as a proactive response. Well, you're asking for it then. Now, people that were just normally, and I don't mean the people that were going to be out there protesting that were peaceful. Now you do have those individuals that like, now I want to, you want some, I'm gonna give you some. Mm-hmm. That's no way to run the gubernatorial office. It was just a bad idea all the way around because we haven't had any violent protests here in Missouri. And so why even invite that thought into the process?
Did you guys see Fetterman's getting crap from people, I think on the Democratic side, because he tweeted this about all the protests and everything. He said, win the argument. Do not loot, set crap on fire, or assault law enforcement. Do protest peacefully, organize to win elections, call out destructive behavior. And he's got a picture of the cars that were burned in LA and all that. So, like, he's basically saying what you're saying there, Alvin, and he's getting hell for it. People are like telling him he's not a real Democrat or whatever. Like that right there is the way, right?
You know what? I don't mean to be whatever, but my friend Alvin Reed may not have the rights he has now if those protests in the 60s had been violent. What was so powerful about them is that they were peaceful.
Yes.
That's why things changed.
Right. And that's why I always look at protests at all. And people talk about this and that. And I said, like, well, there are a lot of people that are out there that protest today. And I said, like, I didn't see you, when them fire hoses was blasting people. They were sicking dogs on folks and whatnot. Y'all was watching on TV, and it was terrible and it helped change America, but you weren't there. Okay. And now it's kind of like, we deserve this and we're that. And I'm not calling out any individual group of people that call themselves Democrats, but I'm saying, like, y'all wasn't there. So, I have problem with you, like, we should be doing this and blah, this. So, like, well, how about you let the people that did this before, who are peaceful, like I say, just do your thing and be out there in number and strategize. Vote. That was what really set people off in the South that were vehemently segregationists, was the fact that they were not protesting, but they were registering people to vote. That's where the emphasis should be. And that's, look, I get protesting. It need be done right now because, I think that, hey, the way things are going in the United States of America are very un-American at this time. I'm not calling any individual un-American. It's just like due process has been thrown out the window and we can't have that. I don't care if you got a Republican, Democrat, independent running the country. You can't have that.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Wheels has said this a lot, and I couldn't agree more, that due process is square one. And if something becomes inconvenient for you, like the border crisis, and what are we going to do with 11 million people? And it would take years to have a million court hearings. Yep. And that's what we do.
We just have to do that.
And we make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right. Now, and I will tell you, like, say, as journalists, I've told this people, like, hey, if it ever came to the day that I said something on the radio or I wrote something in the newspaper and somebody could come knock on my door and drag me out my house and take me to jail, we wouldn't be journalists anymore. Yeah. We ain't got that many. Yeah, we got some chutzpah. But really, Alvin, if it really came down to that, where your life was in danger because you came in and were critical of the existing leadership of your country, we would quit. We'd find something else to do. And that's where we can't go there. We can't take away and make people fearful of actually representing the profession that we're in.
Well, there are like, so we got a comment from Brian on YouTube who says they're protesting illegal criminals and gang members being deported. They're not. It's about how you're doing the job. Law enforcement is about proving your case against the accused. It is not, we say you're this and you're gone. They can't just show up to my house and say, you did something, you're going to jail right now. They have to be able to go get a warrant for my arrest, which means they have to have some proof of it before they do it. So what people, now there are bad, as you guys both point out, there are bad people who are doing terrible, violent things because they want to. Because they want the trouble, they want the fight, they want all that stuff. Those people are awful. But there are a lot of people that are just saying, this is not how we do it. If you're going to deport people, follow the law and don't just start saying someone is this or someone is that. You got to prove that they are so that we don't have innocent people who are legal or who haven't committed a crime being thrown in jail or arrested without cause.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You could go ask Gabe Gore, police chief, Robert Tracy, any police department, any prosecutor. Do y'all know where the dope is? Y'all know where the criminals are? Y'all know all that stuff, don't you? He said, like, yes, we do. But you can't just barge in and just start arresting people, right? So, like, nope, can't do that. We have to do this in the way that our country says we should deal with criminal offenses, innocent until proven guilty, even though we know you're guilty. Even though we can sit outside, it's just like, man, they're moving dope in there.
Yeah.
You know, man, they got
I know
stolen
where it
goods.
is.
I know where it is. They got stolen goods out the wazoo over there. But we can't just barge in, arrest them, confiscate everything and whatnot. Because A, they'll be back out on the street. B, will get sued. We know they're criminals. They know they're criminals. We have to play by this set of rules because that's how we became the country that we are. I still think we're the finest country in the world because we do things the correct way. And the second we stop doing things the correct way, we lose that stature. I think we're losing that stature. We're far from lost, but we've drawn ourselves closer to some of the countries that we make fun of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that isn't. I mean, that's entirely it. At least from my view, I'm not defending anybody who's breaking the law, but I do want to follow it because if you allow the line to be crossed, then that means innocent people are at risk. That means anybody that's not doing so, because you can say, well, I'm not an illegal alien. Maybe the issue is something else down the road right now, but you don't want the precedent to be set.
That's the whole
that
thing.
You don't have to follow due process.
Yes, that's the thing is that, and somebody else is going to be president. Somebody else is going to be in charge of the House. This is all going to be. And then there are individuals right now who love what's going on, who will say the second that the administration changes to the other side, will say like, well, we can't have that. Right. Well, wait a minute. Now the precedent has been set. And some of the decisions that are being made by the Supreme Court, I could become president and say, like, you know what? I'm gonna do a 180 on some of this stuff. And then everybody's gonna say, like, oh, I can't believe the Supreme Court allowed Alvin to do this and allowed Alvin to do that. And I don't think I would, but at the same time, let me put it this way. I said, like, oh, if one day, I just woke up and said, like, hey, Alvin, something happened, like, man, over 80% of the people in the country are black now, right? I said, like, yeah, we all sit around and say, like, well, we'll be a lot more fair. Things will be a lot more of this, a lot more of that. I said, like, no, the first thing would be, like, I'd have to convince people, and we can't be taking, like, revenge on people. We'll destroy the country that we love. So, like I say, a lot's going on right now that, no, you don't want to do this because we're setting a trap for ourselves in the future because this whole, like, anything goes because, A, I made a campaign promise, or B, I said I was going to do this, and the law says I can do it. It's like, man, you don't necessarily want to go there.
It's Alvin Reed. Thank you, Alvin. Appreciate it, Al.
Anytime, man.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
So personally, I wish that there was a Michael's Flooring type of business for every single business. As you guys, if you listen to the show, you know, because I say it in my live endorsements all the time, I don't like talking to salespeople. I don't like being sold. I have walked away from many different transactions where I wanted the thing. I want the motorcycle. I want the drum set, whatever. But the sales process just turns me off. With Mike, it's so absolutely perfect for someone like me. And if you're like me, you're going to appreciate it. You go to one of the 3 Michael's locations, you know what you're looking for. You know whether it's hardwood or it's wall-to-wall carpeting or an area rug. You let them know what you're looking for. They will tell you very politely, professionally, simply, concisely, here's what we have. Based on what you're telling me, here's what I would recommend. But if you want to save a little money, you can go this way. If you don't mind spending an extra $300, you can go that way, and that's going to be top of the line. And then if you say okay, let us think about it. We're going to go have lunch. We'll call you in a couple of days. No one's going to hound you. No one's going to follow you out to the parking lot. They're not even going to call you. They trust you that when you're ready to buy, you're going to buy. And if they push you into it, you may end up being sideways with them because I don't think people regret purchases that they got pushed into. We know that. That's why we treat you with respect. MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com.
Ready to make lake life a reality? With Anywhere Lombardo at Lake of the Ozarks, you can build a home designed just for you. Whether it's a cozy retreat or a luxurious lakeside escape, our custom designs bring your vision to life, set against stunning lake views and peaceful surroundings. The perfect balance of relaxation and adventure. With a trusted builder backed by long-standing vendor relationships, you'll enjoy cost savings and superior quality from start to finish. Start your dream home today with Anywhere Lombardo. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Look at the rain out there.
Oh, wow.
I am so befuddled by my plants.
Your
What's
plants?
going on?
I bought them, so I say brand new, however you buy plants, and they were perfectly healthy, and I've been watering them, and they're outside in the sun, and they're just dying, and I can't tell whether it's too much water, not enough water, but it's depressing.
Sorry.
I don't like failing.
I get that.
We also are having a hell of a discussion with the stream today.
And I'm not trying to pick a fight. I think, the problem here is it mostly is just, I think, a lack of time for people to communicate ideas, right? So you're doing an 8-minute segment and you got 2 minutes to address a message, and then you're doing things back and forth on chat. It's hard to get into nuance in that scenario, but we've got a couple of people. I don't need to pick names out to pick on anybody. It's not the point. But because I pointed out, look, the Constitution doesn't just grant due process rights to citizens. It's to anybody in the U.S. And again, the whole point of the way this is designed is to protect innocent people. And that does mean sometimes bad people get away with stuff they shouldn't. But the whole point of our judicial system, the whole, one of the founding parts of the Constitution is we want to be very sure that innocent people are not being trampled on. That outweighs bad people getting away with things the way that we've always run things. And we've had some comments like, well, then they need to change the Constitution. Well, that's fine. Do the process. Go through and try to amend the Constitution. It's been done before. How many amendments do we have? Right? But follow the process. You don't just get to decide, I don't like that, so I'm going to do it a different way.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the point. So when we're getting into this, these arguments are very nuanced. And unfortunately, a lot of places that do political coverage, whether they be right or left leaning, don't do it that way. It's those two parties, the two outlets, regardless of whether they're right or left leaning, are too often on a side, and they're mad at the other side more than they're talking about the issue in the middle, which is we have laws. We need to follow the laws. And if we're only going to get criminals, then what should be happening is we should be going to the police. The police should say, yep, this is a criminal. We're going to press charges. We're going to present those charges. We're going to convict you, and then you're going to go. That's not expedient, but justice is not meant to be expedient, because if it moves too fast, it makes too many mistakes. And I get that we want to take people. I am in support of deporting people that are here illegally. And then I also agree with the idea that we should be creating a path for people to come legally, so that, because we do need people, right? And you just saw Donald Trump come out, was it yesterday, the day before, saying basically, whoa, we're going to slow this down because the hotel industry is hurting and agriculture is hurting, farming's hurting. He said those things because there are a lot of illegal immigrants that work in those industries, and those industries are getting hit. So which is it? Do we have to get all the illegals, or do we just going to make exceptions because certain industries need them? And all we're asking for is consistency and applying the law the way the law is written. And if you do that and people are still mad, then you have the upper hand in being right because you're following the law.
Well, that's the problem, too, with painting all undocumented immigrants as if they're terrible people and need to leave our country. We obviously rely on them for things that help the country. There are, you just referenced a couple of industries.
Construction is another one.
And it's like, it's just wild to me that people want to paint with this broad brush and be like, they're illegal, they need to be out of here. It's like, dude, you didn't do anything special to be born in the United States. You really didn't.
I was lucky is all I did.
Yeah, you didn't like complete the challenge and you earned your way here. You were born here. There are other people who want the same opportunities that we have. I can't really blame them for taking that opportunity if they see it.
And people that are really hardcore about this, that want everybody gone and want everybody to suffer consequences, you should be boycotting every business that employs illegals. And you should be wanting your government to press charges because it is illegal to employ illegal immigrants. But we ain't going after them, are we?
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Game.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long.
It's a gunner!
Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up.
up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code QUOTE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got an overturned vehicle crash in Metro East right now. It's southbound 255, south of 143. Traffic's jammed back through 143, and northbound Gawkers are backed up north of the Three Eyes into the area. Westbound Highway 70 on the Missouri side, a little slow. Riverview out through Jennings Station. There's some heavy traffic from Lake St. Louis through 61. Eastbound 70, some slow stuff midway in from Wright City to Forestell. Pockets all the way into Wentzville Parkway. Again, not a jam, but it is slow the whole way. Westbound 64, bogs down. Kings Highway runs all the way out to Big Bend. Clarkson to Topgolf and Boone's Crossing to the bridge. 364 out to 70. After that's all busy. South 270, south of Page to Ladue, Manchester to Doherty Ferry. Slow. Westbound 44, Big Bend into Lindbergh, and west of Bowles to west of 141, kind of busy. Southbound 55, Gasconade Bates, a little slow. North of Z through McNutt. Eastbound to westbound 44, delays around the Poplar, and 64 between the ballpark and about 3rd Street's pretty heavy as well. And westbound 30, we have a traffic crash at Gravois Bluffs. It's jammed near 141. We had a backup at New Sugar Creek. And then again, there was a little jam up there headed into Little Brendan where we had another crash. I'm Roger Brand with your latest traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com. And when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. 3rd leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday to you. Little rain out there, Dave. I guess it's going to be kind of off and on.
Yeah. It happy Father's Day, first of all the dads
happy
out
Father's
there.
Day.
Coming up on Sunday. Happy U.S. Open golf tournament. We like that too.
Andrew, you know where that's played?
Nope. Well, that one at least changes all the time.
That one does change every year. So take a guess, Andrew.
It's not been the
Just take
same
a guess.
place for 100 years.
It's in Pennsylvania. Try it.
There you go.
Andrew's not playing today.
Pittsburgh.
Close. What's the country club?
Pittsburgh.
He's just
Central.
torturing you at this point.
Pittsburgh Central Country Club.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, sure. Oakmont. maybe one of the toughest. But no, you know what? It's probably one of the toughest courses in the world.
Yeah, I was kind of
In the
thinking
world.
that. Yeah, it's gotta be tough. Yeah, you got the hills, you got the rocks, you got the trees,
got all that grass.
So
Yep.
there's so much grass.
And some of that grass is longer than the other grass.
If they don't cut it, it
A
will
lot.
be. You know, got to keep
Got
that
the
stuff
church-
cut.
Got the church pews too.
Yeah, and then that really
Gotta remember
short
that.
grass, they keep moving the sticks around.
Makes it harder.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question directly instead of indirectly, there are scattered showers out there, a few rumbles of thunder, nothing strong, nothing severe. They kind of pop up and then they do their thing and then they fall apart. It's a cutoff low pressure system. In fact, if you pull up a satellite map and put it in motion or pull up the radar, put it in motion, you'll see the circulation around this low and it's almost right on top of us. So rain off and on today, rain off and on this evening, rain off and on tonight. I think we're going to squeeze out a good portion of the weekend rain-free, but it's going to be very humid. Some scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms around on Saturday, but also a mix of clouds and sunshine, a lot of dry time, 85. Sunday, partly sunny, very humid, but only a chance of a spot thunderstorm. Most of Sunday should be rain-free and 87 degrees. Keep that going on Monday. Cutoff lows are slow moving. They're slow to move in. They're slow to move out. We're kind of used to that this spring and summer.
Sure seems like it. How do you guys feel about the spring? Feel like we had a good long spring? It hadn't been 90 degrees yet, or you feel like it was just rain?
I feel like it was nice.
Yeah, it feels like it was mostly rain, but almost always on the weekends.
Yeah, that's the key. It's been almost always on the weekend.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Hey, what's up with that? We get
Who do I need to talk to about this?
You know what? We get caught into cycles. And I think the longest run was about 14 weekends in a row. I forget what year that was, but we had a long, long stretch of rain every single weekend. We're running close to that now.
I'm lucky I don't mind that. Like there's things you like in life and things you don't. And my later life, I've developed kind of a love of rainy days, especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
Don't mind it too much. So.
Cozy.
Cozy.
Cozy
Nice and
is
cozy.
right.
It's like a weekend at Oakmont.
Wherever it may be.
Headlines, right?
Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. Most U.S. adults say Trump's military parade is not a good use of money. A new poll finds about 6 in 10 Americans believe the parade is not a good use of government funds. Most Republicans do approve of the event, but Democrats and independents are more likely to see it as a waste. The parade is expected to cost between $25 and $45 million.
You guys going to check in on it?
Yeah. I'll definitely follow on
When is
X and such.
Tomorrow
I think
afternoon?
5:30. I want to see what's
Lots
going on.
tomorrow.
I mean, to be fair, regardless of any of this, I'm not a big fan of parades.
Oh, word.
I mean, like just a non-politics, non-partisan example. After the Cardinals World Series wins, I did not stick around for parades.
It could be a parade about me, and I wouldn't want to watch it.
Like miss me with the Thanksgiving Day
Like, oh,
parades.
God.
I got nothing for those.
Even as a kid, I remember like they'd throw candy, and I'm like, I get this part.
Yeah.
But just watching these fat guys with Ham's beers go by on floats really slow and throwing me Tootsie Rolls, like I'm not quite getting it.
Wow.
Like what
Ham's
what
beer. There's a blowback.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Parades are one of those things that we did like 100 years ago, and I don't know why we still do
Because we didn't
them.
have anything else.
Right, exactly.
It is a very like boomer coded, like what's the ultimate way to celebrate? Like, oh, we'll do a parade. Like, I don't know. I don't think.
You think they'll go away?
Will parade? I think they will be less prevalent as the years go on. I don't think, unless the country takes a turn I don't want it to take, I don't think we will be doing military parades in 50 years.
Yeah, I'd be like all of them. All of them can. Like, I don't want to do.
All of them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need.
You're a little
celebration.
cranky. You're a little cranky today.
I don't
Reels.
like parades. I just don't. Like
Well, even like the Macy's, I'm really like, oh, look, it's
Right,
Charlie Brown.
right.
Like, yeah.
Duh.
Oh, they ruined.
I got a
They
phone. I
ruined
can look
that
them up on my
parade.
phone
Yeah.
anytime I want. I don't need
Got
to
a
go
bunch of people lip
stand
syncing
the
on
street.
floats, and then
Yeah.
you sit in one spot and you see them for like 2 minutes, and it's gone, and you're like, all right, great.
It is funny whenever the balloons like get out of control, though.
It's the only good part.
You got Snoopy, take it over.
Meta is cracking down on AI nudify apps. There's a app maker called Crush AI, They have repeatedly circumvented Meta's rules to purchase sexually explicit deepfake ads on its platforms. The app allows users to create nude or sexualized images from a photo of someone's face without their consent. Meta has rules against this, but Crush AI created a network of business accounts to buy ads and had active users managing Facebook pages where the ads were displayed.
Okay, let me say something. I'm not the most normal person. I think we all agree on this. I have my own personal little peccadillos. I don't understand, and thank God I don't. Like, I don't have a foot fetish. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't understand what people get out of. So this is Sally Connor, but she's naked. Like,
it's a control and a power. I mean, it's similar to like a sexual assault.
Okay, well, that makes a little more sense.
It's about having power over the other person.
Okay.
Like, oh, they don't want me to see them naked, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, sadly, you just described it in 2 seconds, and it's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say it's all bad.
I thought they were looking more for sexual gratification, which I'm sure they are.
I'm sure that's a part
But
of
that
it.
makes sense.
But there's a reason why when you have unlimited free sexual content on the internet, you choose to create your own without someone's consent.
Okay.
And also it makes you a complete and total loser.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, right? But I think those people that do that should be guilty of a crime that gets the same penalties of somebody who actually steals photos or takes photos that were inappropriate or unapproved, whatever. Like that should be the same crime.
President Trump has opened a waiting list for the $5 million Trump card. These are gold card visas with promised citizenship in exchange for millions of dollars. They are updated versions of the EB-5 investor visas. It requires investment in a U.S. commercial enterprise. I personally think this is a pretty bad look to do this while we're having all of these protests and arguments over paths to citizenship and such. But that's just one person's opinion.
You know, one thing I'll say about today's political climate, and maybe it's just me because we're all sort of egocentric little self-contained skin bags. We think that people are experiencing the world the same way that we are. But it seems to me, Dave Murray, that in the past, politics were not this stark. You know, it's like, oh, I like this guy. Oh, I like this guy. They're not that far apart. With the advent of Donald Trump, you know, maybe it's the Trump derangement syndrome, but like, it's never been easier for me to go, I like this. I don't like that. I don't like military parades. I don't like the $5 million gold card. Like, does that make sense? Like, at least there's something that you can, for me, easily say, I don't like that. And then I have a bunch of friends, like my friend Mark Cox, who's like, I love this. I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I think it's been going on a lot longer than just the last few years, though. I think we've been going down this track.
That's a good point. I think I'd agree with that. I think it probably started really when like TV and radio boom happened. So maybe the 90s. Now, I don't remember it that well before that because in the 80s I was a kid. But I don't think this dynamic existed under Ronald Reagan. I don't remember it under H.W. Bush. I do remember this dynamic starting under Clinton, where there was like this huge divide as to the people that loved him and the people that hated him.
We probably thought it did because Reagan famously said something like, these are not, pastels. These are bright, vibrant differences in color. But I don't think he was right. I think that they were just different parts of the same pastel colors compared to today.
Because I think the same thing happened quite a bit with George W. Bush, too. Like starting with Clinton, then W. It certainly happened with Obama. And I think it's been basically ramping up. I agree with you, Dave. That's a good call.
The Nintendo Switch 2 sales have set a record in just 4 days. They sold over 3.5 million Switch 2 consoles. That sets a record for Nintendo.
Man,
can't find the darn thing.
Do you think, Andrew, do you think that's anything about anybody worried about tariffs impacting costs of those things down the road?
No, I think the damage
demand.
has already been done, so to speak, when it comes to this particular product.
Okay.
Prices were higher than expected, and that was blamed on the tariffs.
What are they going for?
$450 for the base. Yeah, it's a little more than.
Weren't they used to be like $250?
No, I think $400 is probably what people were expecting.
Well, that's not that bad.
Yeah. So it's not so much crazier than they were expecting.
A man was convicted of posing as a flight attendant to score over 120 free flights. Now, look, I don't endorse fraud, but this is actually pretty impressive.
How did he get away with one of them?
He was convicted of entering secure airport areas under false pretenses and wire fraud. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. He booked flights only available to pilots and flight attendants. He claimed to be a flight attendant on multiple carriers. He faces a maximum of 20 years in prison for wire fraud and 10 years for entering secure airport areas under false pretenses.
So he didn't work as a flight attendant.
No, he just claimed to be one
Okay.
and got flights as a result.
Okay.
You know what? I bet he just walked right into the room.
Do you guys feel the same way? I just feel like bad stuff must be so much easier to do than you think. Like, I would never consider that, first of all, because I would be like, well, you're going to get caught the very first time, right? And this
Yeah,
guy
but when you look at TSA, though, you see there are lines for the pilots and the flight attendants. And if you have the captain's hat on and you have your ID that might be fake, they just kind of wave you through.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go.
Let's do one more story here. Cup Noodles is releasing a dill pickle flavored ramen. This is an attempt to attract Gen Z and young millennials who are drawn to the tangy and sour taste of pickles.
Yeah, enjoy.
Millennials, you guys like pickles?
I love pickles.
Gen
Love
Z,
them.
Would you eat that? Would you eat the noodles though?
I'd try them.
I mean, like, I get it. A lot of generations like pickles. You know, it's not like new, but making like everything pickle flavored is new.
Right. Old people love pickles. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic reports is a service of Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. They cleared that crash on 55 south of 143. Everything's back to normal both ways there. That's good. Westbound 70, some slow stuff from Lindbergh out to 270, from Lake St. Louis out through 61. Eastbound 70 backed up east of David Hokel Parkway into Wentzville Parkway right now. Westbound 64 Kings Highway headed out to McCausland's heavy. Clarkson to Topgolf slow across the Moon Bridge, and again at 364. Southbound 270 south of Page through Manchester busy, and then Gravois down to 55 kind of slow. Southbound 170 south of Delmar's crowded. Westbound 44 from about Bowles or west of Miraz to west of 141 there's congestion. Southbound 55 Gasconade through Bates is kind of slow, but it's cleared out in Jeffco. Downtown eastbound 70, more volume now from O'Fallon Park into the Musel Veterans Bridge. Westbound between the Musel Veterans and McKinley is slow. Eastbound 44 from 55 up to the Poplar. And the Poplar, both directions between 3rd Street and the bridge, is bumper to bumper. And westbound Highway 30 is still delays west of Valley Dell out to Little Brennan because of a couple of earlier crashes. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. On the Chris and Amy Show, we're launching 100 Acts of Kindness because apparently honking less in traffic doesn't count as charity.
We're teaming up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to prove kindness doesn't have to cost a dime.
Hold the door, say thank you, help your neighbor take out their trash without throwing yours in first.
No grand gesture required, just small, simple acts of human decency. We believe in you.
Join us and share your stories with hashtag 100KindActs.
Kindness It's like a group hug without the awkwardness. Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Add some star-spangled style to your summer with Ashley Stars and Stripes sale. Going on now. Shop Hot Buys for every room in your home. Now just $6.99. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 store-wide. And don't miss upgrading your patio. Save up to 20% on select outdoor furniture. Or feel the freedom to buy now and pay over time with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Hey, St. Louis! Mers Goodwill is proud to sponsor the St. Louis City match on June 14th, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. This is more than just a match, it's a day of giving back. Bring your new or gently used clothing and household items to donate at designated drop-off zones outside Energizer Park between 12:30 and 3 p.m. Join us for the City and Goodwill donation drive on June 14th. Give hope, give local, give goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 353.
Oh, I forgot to mention that Dave Murray's weather was sponsored by Saks Financial. Just wanted to throw that in
Now you
there.
have.
Thanks for the weather.
You've made several mistakes today, Rach, and one of them affected me directly.
What did they do?
You brought up how tired you are of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and it's been on my phone since.
Sorry about that.
Isn't that crazy?
Listening.
That's the only reference, and it's just coming up on my phone like crazy.
Man, you know what's great? I haven't thought about them in months.
I know, but then when you do,
is sweet.
it feels like they're trying to get themselves back out there.
Mm.
There's
Feels
been
like-
a lot of photos of them lately.
Yes.
Well, remember,
Well,
he's
I mean,
probably
football season is ramping up.
It is, and he's probably going in. You'd think he's going into his last season, probably, right, Kev?
Probably.
Yeah.
So this
Whether
will
he
be,
wants to or not.
and then remember, openly, he's like gonna go through he's trying to go through the reinvention. And post NFL, he wants to be an actor and a movie star, and he wants to be the next Rock. Maybe he's a singer. Maybe he'll be on some Taylor albums.
Do you wish him bad things? Just say yes. No. Don't leave me hanging.
I don't wish him bad things.
Just her?
No, I don't wish her bad things either.
Rachel
It's more
just
like
hates women.
stop being like that. Just stop. I'm just tired.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise, but the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies, 314-991-9005, or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis and St. Charles families have trusted Suntrup Buick GMC. As a proud family-owned dealership, we offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Buick GMC, you'll always find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and every vehicle comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. Save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician